Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. All right. All right, y'all, let's get the show started. I'm glad y'all tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but love. All right, y'all. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. This is episode 264. It's a lot of episodes, like Sunday night episode, and we're going to have a good time. If it's your first time tuning in and tapping in, again, we talk about everything from entertainment, sports, music. We have a good time. We have the serious conversation, and we have the fun conversation. So, again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. So again, continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week and tap into the memberships. Take advantage. You get special privileges. And again, make sure y'all take advantage. Shout out to everybody in the chat so far. Always showing major love. The loyal crew in the building. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Shout out to Culture in the building. Shay in the building. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Ebony. I see Ebony. King P, my daughter King P, got Culture in the building. So again, I appreciate y'all for showing major love. I think I said Culture Age. And shout out to Winter. Shout out to Winter in the building. Appreciate the love as always. Yeah, y'all don't forget that like, subscribe, share button, that notification bell. I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get to find us some movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. So make sure y'all tap in the Button Snaps. And let's get no further ado. Do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. Remember, the only art we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location. It's just not here. All right, y'all, let's get the show started. First segment of the night, popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to at OUV Records on Instagram. Stay tuned to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. So make sure y'all stay tapped into OUV Records on Instagram. All right, y'all, you know these questions are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right, y'all. Most likely roster move for OKC Thunder on this list. Most likely next roster move for the OKC Thunder on this list. Number one, trade into the top 5 in this year's draft. Number 2, trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 3, trade Chet Holmgren. Number 4, fire coach. I hope I'm saying it right. Daganot. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Most likely next roster move for the OKC Thunder on this list. Number 1, trade into the top 5 in this year's draft. Number 2, trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 3, trade Chet Holmgren. Or number 4, fire coach Daganov. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Daganov. I hope I'm saying that Daganov. I hope I said that right in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to my guy Ryan Anthony in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my dude. Remember, y'all, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. Appreciate y'all tuning in and tapping in Sunday night episode. Going through all of this right here, I already see, in my opinion, I'm gonna go with one. I believe that the OKC Thunder is definitely gonna trade in their 3 picks, because my dad, I got 3 picks this year in this year's draft, right? I think they're gonna trade it for one. They only have one roster spot, and they can easily go into that top 5. I honestly believe that the Clippers have the biggest gain to trade him back. So that way they can get 3 picks instead of 1. And because this year's draft is a very strong class, I think they could really have some sort of footing moving forward. They said that Kawhi Leonard was going to be leading this year. You still have Darius Garland. I would build around Darius Garland. He's a really good player. And you see when you build talent around him like they did in Cleveland, even though this is the West, you can have some success. There's some guys in, with that pick 5, excuse me, with that pick 12, that pick 16, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe like pick 27, 28. You could still fill out a good team if you are the Los Angeles Clippers. Me personally, I think that's what they're going to do. Me personally. So again, the question is most likely next roster move for the OKC Thunder on this list. Number 1 was trade into the top 5 in this year's draft. Number 2, trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can see that as well. Number 3, trade Chet Holmgren. I don't see that. And number 4, fire coach Dagenhart. So again, I went with number 1. I believe that they would trade up into the top 5 in this draft. I honestly believe that the Clippers would actually be interested in getting 3 picks instead of the 1 pick at number 5. So the rest of y'all, shout out to the chat, shout out to my dog King P. He said fire coach Dagenhart. He's been doing a good job. I ain't gonna hold you. Some of the guys on the team was kind of hurt, but the Spurs, they had to have it. They had to have it. So again, I went with the trade into the top 5. The chat is going with fire coach Dagenhart at 47%. Mind y'all, 12,000 people voted on this. At 47% went with number 2, trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not mad at that. I can actually see OKC Thunder trading for Giannis. OKC is a young team, but they're like a veteran young team, right? They played a lot in a lot of important games in the last 3 years, and they still champions. Even though they did lose, they still champions. You get a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Giannis being with the Milwaukee Bucks and being the leader of that team, he's going to come into a situation where he's not necessarily the de facto leader. He can lead by example with his effort and his play, because that's what he's going to have to do. But that team is ran through Shea. But I think that's an interesting pairing that could actually work based on their style of playing, based on how Giannis play, and based on how majority of the main guys on that team play. So I think that actually worked. And if Giannis is healthy, that would be a scary pairing if you put Giannis to OKC. That would be a scary pairing, especially if I'm OKC and I know that Milwaukee wants to trade Giannis or he's demanding the trade. I'm not giving important assets for Giannis. I may give up some picks. I may give up a guy that we're not going to be able to resign because he's going to ask for too much money. But majority of their team are guys who they feel like is their foundational pieces will be a Thunder next year. So you get those guys with Giannis or Giannis with those guys. Saying I think this could actually work, and I think they could be better than what they was honestly this year, especially if they're healthy. So I actually like I could see how the rest of the world went with 40. Excuse me, the rest of the world went with number 2 at 47%. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Clubs need to bring back number 1, better D music. Number 2, lesser cover charge. Number 3, free before 12. Number 4, no sections. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, clubs need to bring back number 1, better clubs, better DJs, or number 2, lesser cover charge. Number 3, free before 12. Number 4, no sections. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I remember the days when you went to a club, the music was always fire. I used to work at a club, to be honest. For those who don't know, I used to work at a club in my very early 20s. Early 20s. I would say from like the age of 22 to like 20, I'll say like 25. And it was a good time, right? But it was work at the same time because as a bartender at that time it was still a lot of work, but we had the perks, right? There's women, there's liquor, and it's a good time, right? So, but for me, the music got redundant because I hear the same music, every time I went there. But for everybody else, like this was like the best music they heard all week at a party, at a club, and it was the best time. So I definitely get that. Lesser cover charge, I can understand that too. I remember back in the days in college where on the college, I can't compare college campus clubs to like regular clubs because college campus clubs like $4 to get. And I'm so serious. It was literally like $4. So I remember the free before 12. Again, working at a club and seeing all the women there come before 12. We had at least like 150, I'll say about 100 to 150 women on those lines by like 11:30. Excuse me, by like 11, so they would get in before 12. And they let it be known like, yo, I was here, so they could get in free before 12. The no sections, no sections. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Ebony. No sections for me too. Everyone taking pictures of themselves. Yeah, like the no sections portion is also a big factor in clubs. So out of all of these, I'm gonna go no sections too. I'm gonna go because when you had no sections, people was dancing. When you go to the club now, because of the sections, it's basically like an extension of Instagram. That people are there to take pictures. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no real partying, right? So me personally, I'm gonna go with no sections as well too. No sections, yeah, definitely no sections because no sections kill the vibe. You always had places in the club where you could go if that was kind of ducked off and you could chill and those kind of like unwritten that people didn't really dance at that particular area like that. But yo, like you go to the club to have a good time. So me personally, I'm gonna go with no sections as well. So I'm seeing no sections in the chat. I'm seeing no, I'm seeing yeah, I'm seeing no sections in the chat. I'm also seeing lesser cover charge in the chat. Shout out to King P. Yeah, so I'm seeing lesser cover charge in the chat. No sections in the chat, so a mix, and then I'm seeing no sections as well. The rest of the world at 36%, mind y'all, over 45,000 people voted on this altogether. With number three, free before 12. They want more free before 12. I'm not mad at that. In this economy, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. And it's crazy, you know, majority of clubs I go to, I get in for free. To be honest with you, I get it for free. And it's not necessarily a flex for real because even when you get in for free, you're still expected to spend money, right? It's just they just doing the courtesy, like, oh yeah, that's Ash. All right, so come on in. But when I go in, they expected me to buy a bottle that I don't drink. I don't drink anymore. But it's just like a thing that it's like expected. You know what I mean? So free is not always free, but when you like the average goer, free goes a long way because you can go and have a good time. For ladies that don't, pay to get in, more than likely you're not paying for your drinks on top of that. You're gonna meet a dude, he's gonna buy you a drink, a beer or something, depending on the vibe, how y'all vibing. So, you know, we'll see. Well, I mean, not we'll see, but I'm going with no sections. I'm going with no sections. So shout out to the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Remember, y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. I'm gonna give y'all three fire movies to tap into. Our Eddie Murphy Awards. Um, I call it the Eddie Murphy Awards because Eddie Murphy to me is the best. He can do it all. Acting, excuse me, comedy, serious roles. He could do it all to me, and he's the most important movie star that we've had in the past, since 1980s, since the 80s. So that's why I call it the Eddie Murphy Awards. So my first Eddie Murphy Award that is a must see. This one is not a movie. This is a show series or a movie series, I should say. This one came out this year. Came out 2026. The cinematography is done by Darren Ter- Terranin. Terranin. This show stars, or movie series stars, Nicolas Cage, Lee Jong Lee, Brendan Gleeson, Karen Rodriguez, and Lemire Morris. This movie series is called Spider Noir. If you haven't tapped into it yet, it's absolutely fire. It literally came out what, a couple days ago, a few days ago. Basically, Spider-Man back in the 1920s. You can see it in all color or black and white. And I'm not gonna ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all tune in, tap in to see that it's a fire movie series to watch. Absolute fire. So make sure y'all tap in to see that. My next Eddie Murphy Award goes to a movie that came out back in 1999. This one is directed by Steve Jones. Excuse me, Steve James. This movie stars Andrew Broder, Sean Spire, excuse me, Tony Bond, Angela E. Gibbs, Bill Nunn, Ruby D. Khalid Kane, and Rip Torn. This movie is called Passing Glory. A great movie to watch about a teacher in Louisiana. Uh, Also, yeah, he's basically a teacher in Louisiana, and he also gets the job as the basketball coach. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. I won't spoil it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap in to see Passing Glory, and you can find Passing Glory on YouTube. Uh, I believe Spider Noir. I believe that's on Prime as well too. And again, with Spider Noir, you can see both. One on color, you can see the other in black and white. And my third final Eddie Murphy Award goes to a movie that came out in 2005. This movie stars Rachel McAdams. I hope I'm saying this name right. Kaleelan Murphy, Brian Cox. Excuse me, Brian Cox. That sounds crazy, but that's the name. Robert Yeaman, Jamma Mays, and Terry Press. This movie is directed by Wes Craven, the legendary Wes Craven. This movie is called Red Eye. Fire must see movie, and my final Eddie Murphy Award movie. Movie about a young lady who just lost a sibling, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you. So make sure you tap in to see that movie. So my three Eddie Murphy Award goes to the movie series Spider Noir, Passing Glory, and third Red Eye. So again, make sure you tap into those movies, must see movies. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Now I'm gonna give y'all some fire music to listen to. It's something about great music that just changed your whole mood, right? And regardless if it's new or old, whether it's hip hop or R&B, I'm gonna give y'all some of that fire shit. So my profile artist for tonight is the legendary group called the Brand New Heavies. I know that's a wild name, the Brand New Heavies. But my three Michael Jackson award go to their three songs. Their first song, "Spend Some Time," fire song. Third Michael Jackson award goes to their song "Dream on Dreamer," fire classic song. And my third Michael Jackson award goes to their song "Never Stop." So again, make sure y'all tap into the Brand New Heavies. And my three Michael Jackson award goes to their three songs: "Spend Some Time," "Dream on Dreamer," and "Never Stop." So make sure y'all uh, tap into the group, the Brand New Heavies. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know, man. We're about to book the flights, and we're about to head on out and send them to Turkey or no. Send them to Turkey or no. Y'all know the rules of the game. We type in T to send it to Turkey, or we type in not to send it to Turkey. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I would love to know your views and your thoughts of what's going on in the chat. First one of the night. First one of the night. A former corn star. Yeah, get where I'm going with this, right? I can't say, right? So a former corn star, a former corn star goes viral. She did a podcast, and she said she exclusively dated a man for 2 years because he was nice during a GB. Y'all know what that means, right? A GB. So again, a former porn star woman goes viral on a podcast because she says she dated a man exclusively for 2 years after, or the main reason because he was nice during a GB. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are you be sending her to Turkey or not? Are we sending her to Turkey or not? I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Me personally, if this is your first time tuning and tapping in, I get it. But if you an avid watcher, you know I'm going with this. I'm sending her to Turkey. I'm sending her to Turkey. Like as a dude, like real talk, whether you work in the corn industry or not, how can you take a woman halfway serious if you sharing her with other men? How can you do that? I know that's your job, and she's an individual, just like you're an individual. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my mental capacity. If I'm in the corn business, I wouldn't want a woman that's in the corn business as well. And mind you, I would like to believe that majority of the corn workers, even though they have a lot of sexual intercourse, I would believe that they have the same. Well, they have sex with a lot of the same people, right? Probably like the same 9 to 10 guys, or for the for the women, right? So for the women, the same 9 to 10 guys, and for the dudes, I'm pretty sure they having sex with a multitude of the women that's in the corn industry or intercourse with several of the women in the corn industry. So if I'm a dude and I'm getting down in the corn industry, I wouldn't want a woman that is getting dumped on, that I know she getting dumped on. Yeah, I know what I mean by dumped on her 9 to 5. Like I just wouldn't want that. I just nah. It's one thing to understand and know, like, yo, the woman that you deal with, she has a past. Any man can deal with that, right? But when this is what she do on a daily basis, it's like, yo, but how can you even entertain something like that? I just thought it was wild crazy. Shout out to Ebony. Bro want the ultimate side quest by just having manners. Come on, Ebony. Yo, come on. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill in the chat. Y'all gotta chill in the chat. But yeah, it's like no dude that's serious about life is picking a woman that does this for a living. There's no dude that does that. The only way I can see, I can kind of see it if a dude and his woman do their scenes together and that's all they do it with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like it's just y'all do y'all's together. Y'all don't do it with nobody else, and y'all make a great living from it. I can see that. I can see that. But when other dudes dump on your lady on at 9 to 5, like you over there dumping on some other chick and she get dumped on by another dude, I just call me immature, but at the end of the day, that's not somebody I would covet. That's not somebody I could bring home to Mom Dukes or my father and be like, yeah, this is who I chose to be my lady and be my woman. And it's somebody that dibble, not even dibble and dab, but somebody that makes a living in the corn industry. I just think that's absolutely wild. So the fact that he took her serious is a whole like head scratcher all in itself. And then like her logic, because he was nice during a GB, that I've just never heard that. I've just never heard that. Again, maybe it's because of my upbringing. But when we found out girls was allowing multiple men to sleep with them at one time, we call that young lady a guardian tool, right? And none of the guys want to wife up the girl that got ran through by the whole neighborhood or by the whole football team or basketball team. None of the guys want to do that. That's why guys, I don't want to say we talk, but that's why a lot of guys amongst each other is like, yo, I know you like her, but you don't want to be that dude in the room with everybody else knock down your chick. That's like a scary thing for most men, ladies. That's why having a lot of bodies matter to men. That's why hey man, and it's not even like it's not even an insecure thing for real. It's not. It's mainly about understanding our queen, right? Like for somebody to be our woman that we're gonna take serious. We want everybody else to say that they know what your body look like. They know what your temple is. They know how to turn that bell on, if you get what I'm saying. No man wants that. It's one thing to deal with the fact that you got to pass. It's another thing to deal with the fact that all these dudes that I deal with on a regular basis that we see in the neighborhood, that we could possibly be at the movies, like all types of stuff, and you got to deal with that on a regular basis. I that's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a tough one just to even fathom. To be quite honest with you, shout out to the chat. Shout out to Ebony. He applied the golden rule in the wildest scenario possible. Being a decent human being, being a decent human being is the new cheat code. Yo, y'all are going in the chat. Y'all are going in the chat. Shout out to y'all in the chat. That's crazy. I mean, again, at the end of the day, I don't know a dude that will run a GB on a woman with other guys and then take her serious after that. I just don't. I'm not from that. I'm not from that. I played on several football teams. I played on several basketball teams. I boxed. I ran track. So that means I've been in competition all my life. And I've never heard any of the dudes I've been around. And my upcoming, I worked at a club as a bartender. I've never heard a dude that signs up to get with a woman after she done been with all these dudes that he knows. That he knows. Like sometimes I don't think women understand the power that they have. Women, y'all have the ability to meet men brand new every single time you meet them. And what that means is a man will treat you according to what you present to him. The only way the treatment changes is if he learns your past and if your past is very shaky. That's the only way he'll treat you differently. But other than that, if a man meets you at the library, you look quiet, you look like you to yourself, you inside, he gonna treat you as such. If he meets you, you super sexy, the body yada yada, and you look like you go out every time, every chance you get, he gonna treat you as such. So that's why I say you have the ability to meet a man at new every single time because every man is different. Every dude that you meet is different. So if you seem like a good girl, he gonna treat you like one, right? Until your reputation finds his way until your reputation finds its way to him. I'm dead serious. Y'all have that ability to do that every single time. So take advantage of it in the sense of one, not putting yourself in that position. And two, like, yo, if you're looking for a good dude, if you're looking for a good dude and want a good dude, you have to present as such and that. So, you know, I'm just gonna be honest regarding that. So all right, so moving on to our next segment. Our next segment, you already know, it's about that time. It's time to send up. Excuse me. It's time to rap. Uh, excuse me. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snap, so you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for you for your pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button hyphenated sign and the word snaps.com. First one of the night. Shout out to my dog fam. We got my dog fam in the building. You already know, hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. Y'all going in the chat. He brought chivalry to a group project. Come yo, come on. Yo, chill, yo, y'all go ahead in on the chat. Fair, what up, my dude? What up, my people? Happy Sunday. You already know. San Antonio Spurs in 5. Yeah, I hope San Antonio wins. I really do. I really do. I went to the club yesterday. No, I went to the bar yesterday, and I went to watch the game. It was a good time. Good time. Good time. And I'm glad the Spurs won. I'm glad the Spurs won for real. It was a good time. I mean, a good time. It was kind of like kind of weird because people, yeah, I don't. You, see, and this is what I mean by ladies. You meet a man, right, and he's gonna treat you based on what you show him, right. So as I was in the bar, I meet a woman. She came up, sat right next to me. Right, I was sitting alone. She sat right next to me. After a while, we start talking. We hit it off, and apparently she had a date on the way. And um, I got a number, right? But the crazy thing is not the fact that I got a number. The crazy thing was her date was right outside. Date was right outside. And I was like, yeah, take my number. She was like, the person that came to meet me, he like right outside. He kind of like looking. So take my number. And I was like, oh, all right, or whatever. So again, ladies, a man would treat you what you present to him. So I'm just saying. She was cute though. I ain't gonna hold you. She was fine. But the onus is not on me. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my dog, Cap in the building. Let's go Knicks. Shout out to my dog CC, my brother Ash. You already know my dude CC in the building. Uh, yeah. See, the thing about the Knicks, right? Knicks fans, y'all are insufferable. But I will be honest, right? Being a Brooklynite myself, being from Brooklyn, I'm a Brooklyn net, right? But it would be great for the NBA if the Knicks do win. I'm not gonna lie. I said this before. It would be great for the NBA if the Knicks do win. The problem with the New York Knicks is that their management have been ass. They've been ass. And I honestly feel like they lucked up on getting a guy like Brunson and his mentality and playing the way he plays and bringing the team around the way they brought him in. But y'all gotta remember when they brought in Brunson, it wasn't celebrated. It wasn't like, yo, we got Brunson. It was like, yo, we got who? We got Jalen Brunson. Hold up, the Brooklyn Nets, they just signed Kyrie, KD. They about to get Harden over there, and we get Brunson. So I'm glad to see it work out for the Knicks. I'm like, I really mean that. Do I think they'll win the finals? I don't. But the fact that they're in the finals is big too because it's New York City and it's the Mecca. The only problem I really have with MSG or the Knicks for real regarding the finals is that they priced out the real fans. People who are like I got friends who are real fans of the Knicks, die-hard fans of the Knicks. They can't afford $4,000 for a ticket. They can't like I covered last show that the excuse me that the cheapest ticket that you could get is in the nosebleed section, and I believe it was like $400 or $600 if I'm not mistaken. Now the average ticket is $4 grand. So the diehard Nick fans is not going to be in the building, which kind of takes away. Like you need that atmosphere energy. You got casual niggas going to be in the game for the Nick fans. They just in there because they got money. It's something to do. It's New York City. It's not because they real Nick fans that been out here since 1973, waiting for y'all to go back to the finals. That's the only thing that's whack about the Knicks in itself is that they price their own fans out. So the people that really mess with the Knicks, they're gonna be outside watching it on the big screen or at the local club. They're not gonna be inside giving the team that energy and like, yeah, beat Spurs. It's gonna be casuals in there. They're gonna be fly. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but they ain't gonna be like jumpy the way like a real rowdy Knicks fan would be. That's what I would have to say regarding that. Shout out to fam. Her date is one of your homies. You talk about the girl that I met, right? Yo, and you know what's crazy, right? So now when I go outside, when I leave, because now the game is over, so I'm out, right? She outside on her date with the dude, because the restaurant had an inside portion and an outside portion. You know what I'm saying? But I kept it P though. I didn't blow her up. I didn't look at her no crazy way. I just kept it moving like I didn't even know her. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I even argued before that women are not better cheaters than men. It's just the fact that we're not gonna blow it up. We see you on your little date, but when it's time to, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to get that belly smack, you know what I mean? Like, keep it quiet. You know what I'm saying? So, I, you ain't my woman. I ain't looking for no girl. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. That's it. So that's why I say women are not better cheaters than men because we just keep it cool and quiet. Shout out to CC Ash. Nick fans are going to hear you. I hope they do hear me. Am I scared of a Nick fan? I've been flaming the Knicks for years. I hope they do hear me. I hope they do hear me. They better hear me. Nick fans be mad at me because I'm dead serious. They insufferable. They've been terrible all these years. They good finally, which is good for the NBA, might I add. And I wish them the best because it is New York. I am a Brooklyn fan, but it is New York. The only reason why I kind of don't want to see them win is because of the Knicks fans. But the Knicks as an organization, the players, they deserve to win if they win, right? But the fans be just so the Knicks fans be getting me tight. I dare Knicks fan to say something to me. What they gonna say to me? What they gonna say? They can't say nothing to me, especially as a Brooklyn fan. You can't say nothing. Can't say nothing. We've been bad because we were rebuilding. But when we was on top of the when we was doing our dang thing out here, it was quiet on y'all side. They're shining right now, deservingly so. I'm not a hater. Let them cook. Let them cook. Let them cook. When KD big ass foot went over the 3-point line and we was absolutely cooking Milwaukee, Kyrie gets hurt. James Harden, he shrinks. Y'all know how he do. But we had that in the bag, but it is what it is. It's their time to shine. Let them shine. I ain't no hater. I'm not no hater. I just have to deal with Knicks fans if they win. Honestly, the casuals gonna be like, yo, where Melo at? That's what I'm saying. Like casual Knicks fans, you know what I'm saying? They gonna say all the types of stupid shit. Like, yo, I thought this dude was on the team. Nah, where Porzingis at? Porzingis, like, yo, he been gone, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I have a problem when you price out the real Rabbit fans because Rabbit fans do help you win if they're in the building. See what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it. That's why I believe San Antonio going to win. Because if you look at San Antonio's fans, if you ever been to San Antonio, I've been to San Antonio. They got real fans in the building cheering them on, and it's going crazy. We got my dog Ruin 12 in the building. My dude was popping. You already know, man. Got big badge holder. Got a mod in the building, so make sure y'all talk to me nice. I didn't see what Cap said. Cap, I missed your comment. I think you retracted it. Um, Bro Ash, I found this new technique. Someone, Bro, you remember you a mod, bro. You a mod. You a mod, bro. You a mod. You remember you a mod now. Uh, Fam, New York Knicks NBA Finals is gonna be at Madison Square Garden around 3,700 to. That's what I'm saying. That's $4,000. If you spend it, you're not spending 3,700. You gotta do the plus tax, right? So plus tax on $3,700 at them tickets, the tax in New York City, bro. You're not spending 3,700. That's gonna come out to like what 3801 or maybe 30. I'll say 3750 or something like that. That's still $4,000. You're just not gonna go and buy one ticket and just sit in the seat. You're gonna get snacks. You're gonna get jerseys. You're gonna get all that shit while you there. or maybe not a jersey, but you're gonna get, the food, the bed. You're gonna get shit while you're there, and that's gonna be expensive too. You're gonna get the big finger. You know what I'm saying? That sound crazy, but you get what I'm saying. Been busy ass haven't been. Bro, 4K for tickets. I know 4K for tickets is nuts. NBA Finals in San Antonio Spurs Knicks. They start at 13-2. That's what I'm saying. Like 1300 for finals. That's cool right there. You see what I'm saying? That's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's not terrible. That's a lot of money, but that's not terrible for a finals. See what I'm saying? You get in the same game. The same game. And if you've been to San Antonio got rabid fans like New York. Well, not quite like New York, but like they fan out for San Antonio. The difference between San Antonio fans and New York Knicks fans is that another reason why Knicks fans, y'all act like y'all never won before. When y'all beat a team, y'all don't let the opposing team, their fans, walk out like real humble, like, you know what I'm saying? They walk out on the Humvee, they quiet, like, yo, good game. Like, nah, New York Knicks fans, like, yo, yeah, that's cool, but you got on that jersey though. We gonna need that to come up off you, dog. We're gonna need that jersey up off you before you leave. Just like the average New Yorker, like yo, you already won, bro. Now you gotta take the jersey too. Like they pay good money for their jersey. Nah, now they want to take off their jersey, and what we do? We ripping jerseys off. We ripping the sleeves off. We throwing garbage cans on there. Like, come on, we can't do that, man. Can't do that, man. Can't do that, man. That goes to show when people never won before. You know what I'm saying? Can't do that. That's a payment for a mortgage. That's a fact. That's what I'm saying. So for 3,700, 4 grand, $4,200, bro. That's a car. That's a new car. 1,300 to 2 grand. That's a mortgage. That's rent. That's a lease. You feel what I'm saying? Like that, yeah, bro. But again, I understand it because it's the finals. But 1,300, 2 grand, I can understand. Double that, 37, 400, 4,000, dog. And that's and we're not talking about 4 grand for a good seat. We're talking about 4 grand for them high motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Them high seats. We talking about them seats in the 200 row. If y'all have ever been to the game, there's the 100 row, which you could get a decent seat at 100. The 200 is like, yo, you high. And if you in the 300, bro, just bring you some binoculars. And then once you hit the 100, the lower level is basically just like the letters or floor seat adjacent. You know what I'm saying? So those seats is like, y'all could look this shit up. It's literally like it starts from 250,000 for the floor seats. Don't mess around and get a club seat when you got like basically access to the room. Personalized people that will come to you to bring you food and stuff like that. It gets interesting. Them prices get real interesting for a fact. But you could go to San Antonio cheaper than going to. That is a fact, bro. If you are like real talk, instead of paying $3,700 for a bum ass seat at that Knicks game, you could literally take a flight from New York to Texas, get a good seat, way cheaper than just staying at home and sitting somewhere mad high and have a good time rocking your Knicks jersey, and you know what I'm saying, and be in the house. Much cheaper. And get a hotel room. All that shit will be much cheaper. Flight going, flight coming, game, hotel, and the food and all the other stuff. Much cheaper doing that way than it is to actually be at one of them Knicks games. Because it's going to be crazy as far as the prices. But the game in itself, it's going to be casuals. You're going to see Tracy Morgan. You're going to see the Spike Lees. You're going to see the Jerry Seinfelds. All these dudes that are multi-millionaires that wipe their ass with 500K. 500K is like spending like 20 grand to them or something like that. And they got multi-millions. They ain't worried about no 250K, 500K. Like what? Man, I do this on a Tuesday, dog. Can you imagine having that type of money when you could spend 500,000 floor seats at the NBA Finals and you don't even worry about it? It's literally like you spent $50 or $100 or something like that. Can you imagine that type of money? Can you imagine? Dog, what? That is nuts. That's insane. That's insane. I just got to be honest. That type of money is crazy, crazy. Yeah, that's a lot of bread, yo. And that means you've been making this type of money for a long time. To spend 250K or 500,000 just for a damn floor seat at the game. That's different type of money. I can't even imagine that, bro. I can't even imagine. Me personally, I can see myself being a 1 millionaire or a 2 millionaire. I can't imagine me being a 25 million, 30 million. Because one, I don't need 25 million, 30 million. I'll be cool with one or two. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cool. You feel me? But 25, 30 mil, I don't need all that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't need all the money in the world. I'm cool. I'm cool. 1 or 2 mil, count me in. Count me in. That other upper echelon type of money, I mean, if I can make that, then of course. But I'm not. You know what type of work you got to do to get that type of money? I'm cool with the 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of work for the 1 or 2. I'm cool with the 1 or 2 if I ever get to 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm working hard to do that too. So, but yeah. So that's gonna be absolutely nuts. And that's why I say that about the Knicks. They're gonna have a lot of casual fans for that. Our first hot topic of the night, time to wrap. Shador Sanders made over $17 million in licensing last year, surpassing Tom Brady's $9 million. He actually broke Tom. That was the actual record was Tom Brady at $9 million. He had the highest licensing in NFL history at $9 million. And in his rookie season, Shador shattered it at $17 million in his rookie season moving forward. And he's also on pace to break in the 17 million that he did last year in licensing because he changed his number. Because normally Shador was number 2. But when he got drafted to the Cleveland Browns, they refused to give him number 2. They gave it to a guy that's been in the league a couple years, but nobody even know who the guy was for real. And I'm being honest. Nobody even knew that the guy was released from the team. Again, just being honest. So when he was able to go back to number 2, themselves, people, was also going to have a 12 jersey, and they're also going to have a number 2 jersey. So he's on pace to actually break in his $17 million licensing that he made last year. So I'd love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. Um, Me personally, I think this was like, certain things that when people really try to like detract your motion and really hurt your business, and you just focus on what you could basically control, right? All you could control is your own hard work. That's why I've been so invested into working out. I've always worked out. Like I said, I grew up as an athlete, even though being an artist, but I had a revigoration into fitness in the past like 6 months. And I'm not gonna lie. Growing up as an athlete, I always took it for granted because I had to work out, right? Now I don't have to. I don't have to do it at all, but I choose to. And when you think about it, it's like, yo, it gives you like a new perspective on life because it just opens up your mind. Every time I go running or I go walking or I work out, for some reason, I think so much clearer and just ideas be flowing, right? So when you look at this situation and when people really try to stop your motion and things just happen because you could control your output. You could control your workout. You could control, how many times you do your reps. You could control your body and what it looked like because you put the work in. You can't control how people are going to feel about you. You can't control what people may take based on your hard work, based on your aura, based on your energy. It may offend somebody else based on how hard you work. You ever been around somebody that wanted you to dim your light and they wanted you to dim your own light so that they could shine, opposed to them to rise to the occasion and do the very best that they could do? Like there's been times in my life that I tried my very best and somebody was just better or they got the opportunity. That didn't make me be like, damn, if they wasn't here, I would have won that. No, I need to work harder. That's always been my mindset. So when I see Shador Sanders getting his props because he put in the work, mind you, he had one of the worst offensive lines, one of the worst receiving corps in all of football. It was 32, ranked 32 on the offensive line, ranked 31 as the receiver corps, if I'm not mistaken. He still was able to win 3 out of 7 games. 3 out of 7, which is not bad for a rookie. That was the fourth string quarterback in on your roster. Fourth string. With no type of support from the coach. And just throw him out there. And the fact that he controlled what he controlled, he had some things that didn't go his way. And for him to win on the other side of this, I love it. I love it. Shout out to the chat. He actually NFL record contract is 4.6 million over the next 4 years. He made 4 times that in jersey sales alone in 1 year. That is a fact. That is a fact. I didn't realize how much his contract was, but think about that. For 4 years, he's going to make $4.6 million. He made 17 in his first year. 17. Now, if he would have went in the first round, like how he was projected to, and I believe his talent should have led him to, he was looking at about 42 million or 44 million. So can you imagine? But he was still able to be blessed based on controlling what he could control, which is his own hard work and doing what he needs to do. So I love this. And then on the fact is he's on pace to break in the record of what he did last year. Because again, he changed his number back to number 2 from 12, which was very smart and was basically like a happy accident. You know what I mean? Like, again, when people try to detract from you, you just work hard and things happen for you. It's like you know when somebody cuts you off and you let them cut you off and then you get into the other lane and then their lane immediately stops and then you got like the open floodgates for like the next 4 miles. You like see, you know what I'm saying? Like they trying to cut your motion off. So I'm actually happy for Shador regarding this. Shout out to Maria in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. How are you doing today, sir? I'm working on a new album, Tony Braxton. Fun fact, my dad was a singer as well. That is fire. Shout out to Maria. Big time love. Shout out to you working on your new album. And I hope it's gonna be fire. Major love for Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast to you, Maria, for sure. That's lit though. Pops was a singer. That's lit. Uh, Fam Sanders signed a 4 year, 4.6 million contract. Boom, 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 boom. The fifth round for 144 overall. 2005 draft. His contract includes another 400, a little over 400,000 signing bonus. So again, that 400, again, would you rather have 44 million or the 400, or the basically 400, over 400,000 signing bonus, right? You would rather have the 44 million. But the fact that he was able to get that and then he got a blessing with the $17 million license. You see what I'm saying? With outside, basically away from the team, which shows you his value. He moves the needle. He's a constant story in the NFL. So if he really got the chance to really do his thing and get a chance to really be good, I'm telling you, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. I guarantee you. If Shador get a chance to really get invested too, and if he has, I think they had a good draft, but they give him the keys to that thing, and he does well. The Browns, and he take the Browns to the playoffs, and he does well in his own season. Dude, my guy's Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. That's my team, the Chiefs. Not because of Patrick Mahomes, but we got a great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. But when we talk about Shador Sanders, is just such an interest piece because we grew up with him. We seen him on the prom nose, and him and his little brother, his sister, and the family in itself. We seen them as kids. So now we feel like that's nephew for real. So he's such an intriguing story, and people constantly count him out, but he's always rose to the occasion. Shout out to Maria. Also found a video of him playing guitar with Babyface. It said baby dates, but I know that was a typo. Babyface. Yeah. That's lit though. I love that. I love that. You got to put it up on your YouTube one day. That would be fire. That would be fire. Remember, y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s, y'all. It helps with the growth of the show. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We a little over 13. If this is your first time tuning in, tapping in. I am Ashley Lovechild, and this is Ken the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Shador Sanders take Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl and win. I I would love that for him. I would love that for him. I don't see that yet, but I would love that for him. If he was to do that, oh my God. Oh my God, he would be a legend for real. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that would be crazy. I would love that for him to do that. I would love for him to do that. Facts. Don't forget button snap. That's a fact, y'all. Don't forget to tap into button snaps. Make sure y'all tap into button hyphenated sign snaps.com because a lot of people say y'all tapped in and it won't pop up because it's button hyphenated sign and then snaps.com. So make sure y'all tune in to button snaps as well. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Jay-Z. He had the damn. I'm talking about everything in the chokehold. He had Instagram on the chokehold, TikTok in the chokehold. It was crazy. So Jay-Z back outside, popped up at the Roots Fest or Roots Picnic. I hate picnic because the word picnic comes from pick a nigga. I do know that, right? But he did pop out Roots Fest performance, and he killed it. He killed it. I watched the performance a little earlier. His set alone was like an hour and a half. And people forget Jay-Z has so many hits. And it's crazy when time goes by, there's an era of people that can really underrate great artists, legendary artists. And Jay-Z, when I was coming up, was that dude. He was that dude. He's my favorite rapper, period. But he was that dude. Like he's always gave game, and he's always been like the hustler that made it. That it's like, damn, he just told me something I could use in my real life for real. And growing up, your favorite rappers, the people that you listen to at home, your favorite rapper, I wouldn't say their favorite rapper, but their most respected rapper is Jay-Z. Meaning, whoever you think is nice, whoever you think is nice as a rapper, whoever you think is nice, whether it's Jadakiss, whether it's J. Cole, whether it's myself, whether it's Fabulous, whether it's Drake, whether it's Nas, all top tier lyricists view Jay-Z as a lyricist, as a top tier lyricist, not a mediocre lyricist, as a top tier lyricist. Your Redmans of the world, your Raekwon the Chef of the world. The respect level for Jay-Z lyricism by other lyricists is on a whole nother level. Lil Wayne, And it's crazy that I don't want to say the fans, but people that listen to music in this era don't. I don't want to say they don't see him like that, but up until recently, they didn't know that he could get down like this. And mind you, I thought the freestyle was good, but that was a jab. People like, oh, he coming out at people. Nah. This was like a love tap. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I'm gonna reveal what he said at the fest. Shout out to the chat, shout out to fam. Jay-Z diss Drake. I still have Jay-Z first album Reasonable. Reasonable, I used to hate Reasonable Doubt as a kid. My favorite Jay-Z albums when I was coming up was Dynasty, Blueprint, and Volume One, which was my favorite albums. But I don't know what it was. As I got older and I really listened to Reasonable Doubt, and I think Reasonable Doubt came out before I was really into like the lyrical rap. When Reasonable Doubt came out, I was in elementary school, bro. You know what I'm saying? So as an adult, as a man, Reasonable Doubt is his best album lyrically. Not to mention the Blueprint is fire. The Black Album is crazy. Volume One was crazy. Volume Three was crazy. 444 is monstrous. Some people love that American Game. The Dynasty is still one of my favorite albums, period, in hip hop history. But again, people do forget. So it's crazy to me when people say, had all this smoke for Jay-Z or saying things about Jay-Z like he wasn't lyrically that dude. And now they was reminded of this. In one weekend, they was reminded of this. Shout out, my dad gave it to me for my birthday. I still have that. Okay, your dad gave you that Reasonable Doubt for your birthday. My favorite rapper was Mac Dre, and I still listen to his music every day. That's what I'm saying. Like when time go on, people forget. They forget. Like there's gonna be a point in time when somebody comes like, yeah, Mac Dre wasn't all that. You be like, what? Yo, because sometimes people don't understand the magnitude of the moment and the music that you got at that time and what you needed to hear in that time and how it made you feel. People forget. And a lot of people in this era, they don't understand the magnitude on the value of music. Again, I'm gonna get to these lyrics, but I have to make this point, right? The reason why Jay-Z is so important, the reason why R. Kelly is so important. The reason why Michael Jackson is so important. The reason why Prince is so important. All of these great artists that are great at different parts of the genre of music. It makes people feel something in a way that it's like, yo, this is an experience. Like I feel something from this music each and every time. And it matters. When people say Mac Dre, they say Mac Dre in the chat. It matters how it make you feel. They saying DMX in the chat. DMX is another one. DMX is another one. If you go to a DMX concert, you've heard other top tier artists say it. They didn't even want to follow DMX at his concert. You could follow DMX music. Some artists could follow DMX music, but when it comes to performing, DMX gave such an energy. He really did it for the have-nots. He really gave you that rough riders. That he made people hype. He made people cool. He made people cry. All in one set. How you do that? How's It Going Down is one of the most fire hip hop records to me personally. How's It Going Down by DMX? Fire. I could listen to that at any part in time at anywhere. Stop being greedy. That song right there is amp fire crazy. Party up. I wouldn't say a crossover, but it's a club record. Not one of my favorite records, but it go crazy. You still hear that in the club today. One of my favorite songs you never hear people play in the club from DMX is Lord Give Me a Sign. I cannot listen to that music while I'm working out. I hurt myself because I have more energy than what I need to accomplish listening to that music, to that song in itself. Music is designed to make you feel something. And all of these artists who are great and it was great in their era, in their time, they're always going to be great because their music will still make you feel something. And a lot of the new listeners don't understand on what that feels because a lot of new listeners is programmed for everything to be repetitive. They're programmed where everybody sound the same. That's why that shit matters. But staying on Jay-Z, so he dissed his freestyle addressed Dame Dash, addressed Nicki Minaj, Jaguar Wright, Eskimo Vasquez, Tory Lanez, and Tony Busby. So it addressed several people. So his freestyle all in itself, right? He said, should I do the whole thing or should I just get to the part where he's talking about the people? All right, so he just turned 100. If she said she wasn't if she wasn't transient for I clean my name. Oh, so right here he's talking about Tony Busby. He's talking about the young lady that basically said that um she made her way from Buffalo, New York at 14 years old after school. She made her way from Buffalo, New York, all the way to New York City, which is very questionable because Buffalo, New York, and New York City, just on a straight drive, that's about 4 hours. That's about 4 hours. So for a 14-year-old who did not have a car to be able to leave school in the middle of the week and go from Buffalo to Manhattan to go to the VMA Awards and somehow make it backstage, wasn't invited by nobody, and was able to get with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z basically challenged it, challenged the story, like, okay, prove it. Prove that I did these things that you said. And then they later on dropped the case. So uh haters turn haters turn 100. If she was transient for I cleared my name, I would have hunted them. Every one of them playing all these silly games. That's 1-800 that 1-800 ambulance chaser would have wished one came, but 911 is a joke. Public enemy number one. I've been ranked. So that was the Tony Busby, all in itself, the lawyer, all in himself. Shout out to chat DMX, Damien. I call sus. Exactly. The story in itself is like, come on, dog. But he challenged it, right? He challenged it because at that time the whole Puffy stuff was going on. Easy target. Jay like prove it, right? So that was the Tony Busby and stuff. Now Tory Lanez, um, I'm telling you, reading rap lyrics is funny as hell, right? Especially when you're not rapping it, right? So we're gonna make this make sense. So to Tory Lanez, um, the rock's not crumbling. The leprechaun had magically ran out of pranks. Your son is on federal jail line, mumbling something about having too much to drink. You know how dumb that is. And that was the Tory Lanez all in itself. Calling, basically, he's calling out the mockery of what, like he, mind you, I believe that Tory Lanez didn't do what he did with, Megan Thee Stallion. But Jay Z has to defend himself. So this is what he said to Jay. This is what Jay Z said to Tory Lanez. Now to Damon Dash, uh, another one fumbled. Excuse me, another one fumbled his. Wonder how I get my blame. Nigga's teeth tumbling out his mouth, and how I still get the blame. That one who done it. There's a murderer mystery game. Uh, you want it one way, and it's the other. That phrase in itself, you want it one way and it's not the other. That comes from Marlo Stanfield in the show The Wire. So that's a double entendre. I still own you suckers. I'm Marlo, so he referenced Marlo. I'm Marlo, you niggas. Uh, I ain't much for meetings. So this part he's talking about. This part he's talking about Drake, if I'm not mistaken. I ain't much for me to know how. Cancel the brunches. I remember the hunger pain. The price of the brick is going up. It's going to be it's going to be a B even for you to mention my name. So y'all remember when Jay-Z was doing all the brunches and all the rappers was there, but that that wanted to be there, and he's taking a chance to give game. I remember when Drake first came into the business that he was basically saying that Hove was basically his mentor, his big homie. So he go from that to dissing him, which is very interesting. Now to Kanye West. You ever heard of a Wonder Kid? My children is some of them. Have you niggas no shame? Y'all trying to get under my skin. I really get under skin. Ask on how I play. All y'all thugs with them thumbs again. Everybody thinks their one is insane. You're no maniac. Watch the same he acts in my presence. Nigga strength. So he's talking about Kanye West in that regard. I need a new therapist. This shit is not working. I'm truly on the brink. Y'all niggas better not encourage him. Y'all don't want to know what I think. So obviously that was the Kanye West. And Kanye West basically came out, not basically, he came out recently saying that up until the age of 13 years old or 14 years old, he was forced to give one of his cousins fellatio. And then prior before, Kanye West had words about Jay-Z's children, and Jay-Z's children is Wonder Kids, code word for autistic, right? So that was to Kanye West. Now to Oskimo Vasquez, who used to be a part of State Property, and to Jaguar Wright, who basically sung, not basically, but she sung live on Saw 'Em Cry on the Jay-Z Encore MTV, right? Uh, so this is for them both. That nut ass nigga still stuttering. That chatty patty down on his luck again. Quest introduced me to Jaguar. I don't know why I still fuck with him. Y'all was wondering why I ain't do the freestyle rehearsal. So that was basically to them too in itself, because Oskimo been on podcasts and speaking on basically his experience with Rockefeller and State Property, and it hasn't always been flattering. So he's addressing him and Jaguar Wright. Y'all know how she move out here. She just be talking, and her credibility is very shot because these things that she's been talking about, it hasn't been proven. It sounds interesting. It makes for a wonderful story. But when some people say, well, this person haven't been sued, dude, in order to sue somebody, one, they have to have some money. Two, you have to really pay a lawyer to basically sue them. So the business of that doesn't make sense. So for you to pay your lawyer more than what you would get out of the suit. See what I'm saying? So the business sense of that doesn't make sense. Now to Nicki Minaj, um, that lady back on that stuff. She sound like she's in love with him. Her kin can't even. That's enough with them. No, he said her kin can't even take the kids. And I think he stumbled right there. I think he was gonna say basically her kin can't even take her kids to school. I think he was going to say that. So, but he stumbled and he said, well, enough with them. A rapper can't be my op. I got Magna. He said, I got Magna. Hold on, excuse me. He said, a rapper can't be my op. I got Magna politicians. That shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God. You tried to break the covenant. So that was to Nicki Minaj in itself. Now to Drake, back to Drake. I ran for 40 days. My neck got flooded again. Wrist got flooded again. My neck worth went up again. My next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look Niggas look up to Hov. I never look up to them. Them crackers got your publishing. Gangster, go talk to them. Don't talk success to me. You niggas is workers. In perpetuity, how your contract is worded. Make it go. Don't make it go for fuck with them. Excuse me. Pause. Uh so that's how he was that's how he came at it with his verses, and it went on to some other parts. But I wanted to address the basically the disses in itself. Shout out to Tabs and the build. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. You don't need to console your soul. Yeah, I mean, some people thought the verses was mid, right? That wasn't Jay-Z's best, but again, those are jabs. And if you know Jay-Z and his work, he'll jab you before he come after you for real. That's just always how he did it. He would jab you before he come after you for real. He'll jab you, and if you respond, he's really gonna respond. With Nas, it was the takeover. He gave Nas a love tap. Nas came back at him with Ether, and it went crazy. Jay-Z came back with Super Ugly, and they had to call it like it got crazy with Super Ugly as well. So again, Jay-Z's been known for throwing them love taps. He did the same thing with Mace. Threw Mace a love tap. Mace didn't respond, and that went away. He threw Mobb Deep a love tap. They didn't really say nothing for real, and that went away. So Jay-Z has had a history. When he feel disrespected, he gonna throw you something. Now, if you gonna respond, it's gonna be party time. DMX used to do the same thing. DMX sent his jab to Corrupt. Yeah, yeah. Y'all do the research. He sent a jab to Corrupt. Corrupt didn't respond, and that situation it is what it was. But Jay-Z himself has a history throwing jabs when people say something to him or address him. All right, cool. Hold this little love tap, and if you respond, I'm gonna get wicked with you. So when people say it was mid, I don't agree with that. I think he said what he needed to say. I think the verse would have been even better if he didn't stumble up on some of the things that he was stumbling on, because I think there was some heavy punchlines and things that gave that energy of what he was going to say regarding some of these people. But um, we got Jay-Z back outside. We got Jay-Z back outside, and I love it. I'm here for it. I love the fact that he's back outside. I love the fact that he's speaking up. With Damon himself, I spoke about how Damon is just going down bad, mainly because all his interviews have been about Jay-Z. All his interviews. And even when he doesn't really want to speak about it for real, the people that's interviewing him brings it up. And he does answer it, they bringing him up. But like, let's keep it real. A big part of Dame Dash history, as far as us as the people, us as fans of music, the Rockefeller, your history is tied to Jay-Z. Period. No matter how you try to dress it up, hey, you can't move that history. You was a part of that, both for great and bad. He did some great things with Rockefeller, and based on their split, or their dismantling Rockefeller, or him walking away from, whatever the case may be, or whatever how he tried to dress it up. The fact of the matter is, he's not a part of Rockefeller no more. He's not a part of the Rock Nation brand no more. And sometimes in business, it just doesn't work out moving forward. Now, if he'd have walked away from that, would never said nothing about Jay-Z, would never said anything negative or anything of that nature, people would look at him and view him much differently. And at this point in time, again, every time he speaks, it's about Jay-Z. So it's again, if your legacy is tied to somebody else, that means you're not important unless this person is tied to your name because every interview you do, people ask about Jay Z. Your relationship with Jay Z, has it changed? What do you think about what do you think about the Reasonable Doubt album coming up on its 30th anniversary? Oh, the kids don't care about it. Nobody cares about that album. It's 30 years old. Nobody's going to care about that album. But dude, when Jay he just did a whole concert, he just did a whole Roots fest, and the crowd knew his whole set word for word. He was up there on stage for an hour and a half. They knew it word for word. He could barely get through his verses because they know it word for word. And he did get through his verses because he's not a newer artist that performs over the live track. So again, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I think his whole image right now, as far as Dame Dash, would be completely different if he was just focused on what he was doing and wouldn't care to, even speak on Jay Z. I really believe that. When you look at the show, he brought up state property. He brought up state property. Beanie Siegel said what he said throughout the years, and they was able to piece it up. Because what most people don't understand, just because you fall out with somebody or the business don't work out today, doesn't mean it's not a tomorrow, bro. It doesn't mean it's not a 10 years from now, another 20 years from now, when business could come back around. Or a situation that you've been working on all on yourself, he's been working all on himself, and sometimes those two trains meet for the betterment. And you have people in the culture trying to pick and choose. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad he's back outside. And for years, Jay Z hasn't said anything. Hasn't said anything. And he showed up, jean suit, top to bottom, black Tims. I love it. Afro, I love it. And he's back outside, and that's what he said during his freestyle. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s, y'all. It helps with the growth of the show. Um, but moving forward with this whole Jay Z thing, what makes it important is the fact that rap is different. It's not the NBA, it's not the NFL. And the reason why I say that is because in rap, you don't have to wonder what it would be like if Jordan played LeBron. You don't have to wonder. In rap, you don't have to wonder that. Because rap is still young enough, because this is the real first generation of rap. This is not even the first. This is the first generation of rap. Rap hasn't been around forever and a day. Rap is really a grandfather's thing. It started with our grandfathers. Like, if we're going to keep it real, it started with our grandfathers. You got grandfathers in rap right now, listening to the same music their sons and their grandkids listen to it because they helped start it, they helped curate it, they helped take rap to a whole nother level. So how dare you? So, but we will never have to wonder LeBron playing MJ because it's rap. And the older you get, the sharper you get. You don't have to wonder about it. In basketball, oh man, can you imagine if Jordan and LeBron and Kobe was all on the same court at the same time? And rap, you don't got to worry about that. You don't got to worry about that. Most young rappers won't try challenge lyrically Lil Wayne, Jay Z, Redman, Raekwon, Nas. Won't challenge him. Won't challenge him. You damn sure not gonna challenge Styles P, Jadakiss. What? Come on now. You won't do it to yourself. That's why this generation, this era, which I love this era of music, but I wish we had more real voices, meaning everybody don't sound the same. But I love the fact in this era they found vibe music, party music, drill music. The biggest problem is everybody got the same voice. That's the biggest problem. Nobody wants to be an individual and have their own voice. When I work with artists all the time and they like, yo, Ash, yo, you already don't put on that auto tune. Nah, bro. Use your real voice. Your real voice is what make people remember you. It's so funny, like when I rap, people say, yo, you sound like you from Brooklyn, bro. But when I used to sing, people couldn't tell where I was from. because it's singing. But rap, you're supposed to use your own voice. You're supposed to make people feel what you feel. And the older artists, like I said, you don't have to worry about what it would be like if Jokic had to go up against Hakeem Olajuwon. You won't have to worry about if you get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus Wimbiana, because we got it in rap. You don't hear most young artists lyrically trying to go after Ludacris. Y'all know how nice Ludacris is lyrically? Dog, smoke, smoke you, smoke you. So again, this is what makes it important. A guy like Jay-Z, still sharp, and still have the ability to make music at a high level. I think his last album was one of his best albums, period. 444. I mean, that was a fire album. That fire album, I can listen to that right now. Fire album, substance. But I'm not gonna lie, and maybe this is gonna make me sound like a hater, but I don't care. I gotta speak the truth. When you're an artist, evolve with your music. Evolve with your music. Like me personally, right? Like be on some new energy, right? If on one album you like Jordans, let the next album you like felines. Just be on some new energy, right? Be on some things where you really going through life. Because younger artists can't run the industry. Reason being is because they have very limited experiences. The experience of a very young artist is whether the streets, sex, or money. But we all know, for those who know, once you get over a certain age, once you get over 25, you realize, hey, the world don't really care about you for real. You gotta make yourself valuable. That's an experience all in itself. Life is an experience. So that's why older artists matter, because you bring that experience to the music. I heard a dude, I'm mad I'm forgetting his name right now, but I heard his song on TikTok. And when I heard the song, it made me look for his music. I couldn't find his music nowhere. And he's selling the music personally. And I'm looking for the dude so that way I could buy the music personally from him. Basically online. He got online copies and he has hand-to-hand copies. I want to support him, but he had a song and it was so true to who he was. And the song was called "I'm Getting Old," and it was bouncy. And I'm like, damn, that joint is fire. The way the way he did it. And I'm like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. That's what cuts through, is relaying your experiences. Because we all got our own, relaying your experience to the masses and let it cut through in that nature. Shout out to uh we got Luke's in the building, man. Appreciate you for tapping in. Pimps and Players was rapping. Yeah, I mean, again, all experience matter. We all need this in rap. And I say this all the time. And I'm gonna name these artists because they're very different. We need a Andre 3000 in rap. We need a Jay-Z in rap. We need a Ice-T in rap. Or you get what I'm talking about, styles. We need a T.I. We need a 50 Cent. We need a J. Cole. We need a Coogee Rap. We need, and again, I'm talking about styles. We need a Biggie. We need a Tupac. We need a Mob Deep. We need a Wu Tang. We need a Redman. Again, different styles. We need a French Montana. His style. We need a Rick Ross. The style of music. I'm talking about styles of music. All of this shit matters. Not because each and every one of these guys is great. No, it's the fact that they have different styles that you can appreciate, that makes you appreciate the other person even more. I can appreciate a Most Def and appreciate what's like a real difference. I can appreciate a Most Def and appreciate, oh man, There's one artist I'm sure I see the name, but Pop Smoke. All I see was Pop Smoke's face, but I couldn't say his name. I could appreciate a Mos Def and appreciate a Pop Smoke all in the same breath because of the different styles is needed to the game. All of our styles is needed to the game. And this is the only sport that you don't have to worry about Kobe versus LeBron. And I don't view like Drake in itself, good artist, great artist, I should say. A lot of big records throughout the years. And however you view Drake is how you view Drake. Whether that's good, bad, or in the middle somewhere, but that's how you view him. And he's needed, right? Same thing with Jay-Z. Whether you F with him or not, whether you think he's great, bad, or in the middle or indifferent, dude, it's all needed because rap is supposed to be a representation of everybody. Same thing with 8 Ball. Same thing with Mac Dre. Same thing with one of my favorite artists, and or shout out to Filthy Rich. I love Filthy Rich music, and his music is very different. West Coast, non-traditional style. But I could bump Richie Rich right now. Fire artists. I could appreciate Richie Rich and Nipsey Hussle in the same elk, even though they do very different music. That's what hip hop is, the representation of it. Being able to do something and do it your way and spin it a little different and not sound like somebody else. That's what makes it special. So no matter how you view a certain artist, guess what? Rap in itself is all preference based. Whether you want to hear some hustle shit, whether you want to hear the ladies, or whether you want to hear about the drugs or drilling or gangster, like whatever you want to hear is there for you. And it's all to be appreciated because it's all preference based. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. An Atlanta federal judge, Eleanor Rose, and high-ranking police officer Deputy Chief Kelly Collier are subjects to a judicial misconduct, an internal investigation after clerks reportedly hearing these two having sexual encounters inside the judge's chambers during business hours for over a 2-year period. I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. Again, an Atlanta federal judge, Eleanor Ross, and high-ranking police officer Kelly Collier are subjects to a judicial misconduct and an internal investigation after clerks reported hearing the pair having sexual encounters inside the judge's chambers during business hours over a 2-year period. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. This is kind of stupid. This is kind of stupid. I mean, think about it. Is a judge and this a deputy police chief. A judge and a deputy police chief. Now, one of my uncles used to say something, and it stuck with me forever and a day. Something happened when I was a kid, and my response to him was, "But yo, it's common sense." And I was saying it was common sense because somebody had messed something up. And I was like, how did they mess it up? This is common sense. And he says to me, common sense ain't always common. And that always stuck with me. So for this judge and for this higher ranking officer, deputy chief, like, what's up with their judgment? Like, you a judge, but you're not using proper judgment. Like, what are we doing here? In any state, a justice makes a lot of money. A deputy police chief, oh, they making at least about 190 grand a year. In any state. In any state, they make competitive wages that have them in the upper echelon. They in the upper class status is salary. So what do that mean, Ash? That means that they can afford a goddamn hotel room. and go crazy. They can afford to get their own place and go crazy. Get a cabin in the woods. Go. You can go nuts there. Why do that shit at the office? I get it. It's spontaneous. It's that, the fear of getting caught. It's in the office where everybody can hear us a little bit. No, you stupid. You're still a judge. You're still a deputy police chief. And it's quite interesting. As a judge, you give orders because of you exercise great judgment. Deputy police chief, you're in charge of a lot of people because of why? Your judgment. You use the type of discernment during situations from your experience, your education, that the state or the city pays you top dollar. And this is what both of y'all do? Pair idiots. Pair idiots. This is how I look at it. This is a pair of idiots. Common sense is not always common. So the complaint happened in September 2025. The law clerk filed a complaint reporting that the judge was engaging in sexual activity with a uniform officer on multiple occasions. Multiple. That means this was on a regular basis. On multiple occasions, causing a highly uncomfortable work environment. Can you imagine working wherever that you at and you hearing the manager or the person that's high ranking, not even the manager, let's say like the district manager or the regional manager, getting it cracking in the back room? You like, yo, at first it'll be kind of funny because like, oh, okay. But after a while, it's like, yo, you telling me to bring you the briefs? What you talking about, Judge? Which briefs are you talking? What are you referring to, man? You're making me uncomfortable. So I can understand this particular situation from the complainant. Now the judicial discipline is basically the Judicial Council of the 11th Circuit Court issued a private excuse me excuse me internal investigation in February, which was basically a national conduct committee in May, upheld by a national committee in May. Excuse me, which was upheld by a national committee in May. So they already came through with some sort of like punishment for them, but it's a judge. A judge will forever be a judge. A judge, I believe, they don't ever lose their job as a judge. They may be asked to, come away from the bench for a period of time, but they're justice. They're judge. Like you can't get rid of a judge. Um, based on my findings. So Judge Concessions. Basically, Judge Ross agreed to write an apology to 6 of the former clerks. So you mean to tell me more than one person or so, over 6 people heard this on a regular basis? This is crazy. So she had to write an apology letter to 6 former clerks for serving as the chief judge, because when the judge is a judge, they have people in their space that work for them directly. The judge's chambers. So indefinitely they refrain from serving on the judicial conference committees because she's a federal judge with lifetime appointment. So I just said it, with lifetime appointment, and she remains on the bench. So that she may be asked to be removed, remove herself, or the committee may remove her for a period of time, but she'll be back. She'll be back. It's a lifetime appointment. So um yeah. So now with the police investigation, the Atlanta Police Department has launched an internal investigation and determined that the deputy chief Collier actions violated department policies, as APD was involved, and it causes litigation uh, with the judge district during the affair. So I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has a big dose of accountability that they have to adhere. We're talking about a judge and a deputy chief that displayed poor judgment, and they get paid for basically having good judgment. They're in position to give other people discipline based on judgment. And you hear a whole lot of ass slapping in the judge's chambers. You can't make this up. You can't be that horny, dog. You can't you jeopardize. You get what I'm going with it? You jeopardize that, like, as a deputy chief, as a dude, you jeopardize your career for some ass you gonna get anyway. Let's keep it real. If you cracking in the judge's chambers, then you cracking everywhere else. Let's keep it real. Now, if both of them was married, the judge's chambers is convenient, but y'all got the space and place to lie and meet up at the damn hotel anyway, and do and cheat humbly, cheat respectfully. Now everybody know if they either one of them was married. Now everybody know. Now both of y'all embarrassed, and now you done jeopardize your position for some cheeks you was gonna get anyway, bro. No dude does that. No dude that has convenient cheeks gonna jeopardize what he works for in his business and his career space. Not for convenient cheeks. Convenient cheeks is always gonna be there. This happened on a regular basis. So with that, when regular basis happen, that means convenient cheeks. And this is what he does. That's crazy. That's crazy. I just don't understand some of these dudes that talk about, oh yeah, I get a whole lot of chicks. This is not I get a whole lot of chicks behavior. This is I ain't never had this before. This is an experience, and I'm going to take advantage right now. This sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. Shout out to Ebony in the building. The situation raises serious questions about the oversight currently in place for federal judges. One of them, I think, married to. I agree with you. Get it wrong. Shout out to Luke in the building. Uh, how can both individuals be in leadership positions and showcase the worst behavior? There's a time and place for everything. Come on, come on, come on. That's what I'm saying. Like, convenient cheeks is always going to be there. I done had me a rendezvous or two. You know, when I worked a job before I got into music, she was married. I had a girlfriend, and I had to get it. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, she was like, I seen a hotel up the street. You down? Hell yeah. I'm working late. I'll be home when I get home. Okay, babe. Cheat on the humble. Do it correctly. Do it correctly. You don't jeopardize your position, and especially a position that holds so much prestige. Being a judge holds such prestige. It's not just about the money, it's about the respect. In the real world, when you got a judge behind you, not not literally, but figuratively. But if you got a judge behind you, that speaks to your character. So now your judgment isn't like, well, so that's just crazy to me. Skillet calling the kettle black. It's a crime in there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, hey man, like, hey man, hey, hey man, it ain't nothing wrong with getting it cracking. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yo, go to a hotel. You're a judge. He's a deputy. He's a deputy chief. He's a deputy chief. It ain't nothing for y'all to lie. And you're in a position of good character and judgment, but it ain't nothing for y'all to lie to y'all spouse. If you have a spouse, it ain't nothing to lie to your team and be like, yeah, I'm stepping out the office for a little while. I'll be back in an hour and a half. And I mean, how much time do you need? You get to the hotel and you get straight to it. I was doing that in the office anyway, but now You don't have to face this bullshit. Jeopardizing your position for this is crazy. It's crazy. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, tapping in, Can the Brothers Get It Right podcast? I am Ashley Lovechild. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. I drop videos daily. So again, continue to show that love and continue to engage with the videos. I've been seeing y'all comments. Every time I drop a video, y'all been going in the comments. So again, I appreciate the engagement and continue to show that love and also share the videos as well too. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. The legendary show is back, y'all. As the legacy lives on, Netflix. Don't. I was gonna keep it PG. Don't fuck this up. Don't, please. Don't do it. A Different World will be back. For those who know. A Different World is absolutely one of my favorite shows of all times. Hands down. A Different World is probably, when it comes to sitcoms, it's easily in my top 3. Easily. Obviously, there's Martin for me. There's Martin. I got a quote for my podcast from Martin. Can the brothers get a rap? That's why I get the quote. It's from the Martin show. Martin is up there for me. And on any given day, I could easily say Different World at number 2 on any given day. At number 3, I'm not gonna lie, I go back and forth with the Cosby shows or Family Matters, depending on how I'm feeling. But easily, A Different World is one of my favorite shows, and My Wife and Kids. I gotta throw My Wife and Kids in there. That's like a rotating 3 for me. My Wife and Kids is a rotating 3 for me. Martin, A Different World, and that third would either be My Wife and Kids. I just said the other 2. See how my brain goes like that, but y'all get the point that I'm making, right? A Different World is so pivotal in our community because when it came out at the time in the late 80s, early 90s, this was the first time we seen representation of our young people from the culture. Y'all know what I mean by culture? From the culture in color, in a positive space, being able to excel and mess up. And realizing it's a different world outside of your home. It changes you. And that was the beautiful part of A Different World, seeing their arcs through the seasons. The only season that was just like ass hat, you could throw that shit away, is season 1. That was terrible. The Denise one was terrible. And it wasn't terrible because of Denise. It was terrible because they didn't have an identity like they developed in season, I would say more so season 3. They established something that's like towards the end of the season 2, but season 3 is what A Different World really started cooking, right? But it's so pivotal in our community that people thought Hillman College was actually a real college. People thought like, yo, I want to either go to Morehouse, I want to go to Michigan, or I want to go to Hillman, right? And people thought it was a real school. That's how pivotal this show was. And having the different characters, whether light skinned, whether dark skinned, whether tall, whether short, whether their personalities was big or reserved, there was a representation of somebody that we seen in the cast every single episode. And it's super pivotal. Super pivotal. And I can't wait to see this. This is coming out September 24th. September 24th. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. And they're saying that they're picking it up basically from Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert's character. They had a daughter and now she's in Hillman College. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Now, mathematically, that sounds kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Mathematically, that does sounds crazy. That means that Willie had a kid at 40 some years old. But I digress. We'll leave that alone. It is what it is. So I hope they don't mess this up. I hope they don't. And I hope that it's been rumored that we're going to get a lot of the OG cast in the new series. They're going to be in it. So they, from what they said, we will see Jasmine Guy, we will see Kadeem Hardison, we will see Cree Summers. Um, those are the names that I've seen attached. We probably will see Ron Johnson, character played by my God, I forget his first name, Bell. It's something Bell. Something Bell. My bad, brother. He's married to Tempest Bledsoe from the Cosbys, right? Who played Vanessa, the daughter of Vanessa, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if he's in it because he's such a great actor as well. Please, for the love of God, do not mess this up, Netflix. Don't mess this up. They still have to attack serious subject matters. Again, there was an episode where one of the most famous movie stars at the time, Ty Mack, who played Bruce Leroy, he was on a different world as one of the best baseball players of the school. And they had an episode dealing with date gate. Y'all know what I mean by gate, right? They had an episode dealing with date gate and how to deal with it and to recognize certain signs and it wasn't just for the women, it was for the men because the Dwayne Wayne character, he realized that the dude was a gapist. And he's like, yo, when you get with a woman and she says no, like, do you let her off the hook? He's like, yeah. She say no, like, I'm out there. He's like, yeah, no wonder you don't get no draws. So you saying that you like you taking it? And he basically like, yeah, it's our job not to let them off the hook. And that's what he thought. And this is why that show was so pivotal, because it teaches, not teaches you, but it gives a moral ground for people that don't even know. Like for me as a little kid watching, I was like, oh snap! Like if I'm in that situation, I know better. If a woman said no, or a lady say no, or a girl say no, I'm stopping. That ain't my speed, right? But these are the subject matters that it did tackle. It tackled alcoholism and dealing with that. It also deal with domestic violence when they had a episode about a friend getting beat up by her boyfriend. They also had another episode dealing with HIV. If y'all remember Tisha Campbell from Martin, she was on a different world for a couple episodes, and she was her character had HIV. And it was the same episode where Whitley was talking about giving it up to Dwayne. And she was like, well, you don't look like you have HIV or whatever the case may be. You don't look like you sleep around. She's like, I didn't. I got it from my boyfriend that I was in love with. Just like how you in love with your boyfriend, you just never know. So dealing with that and giving that type of exposure and perspective to the audience who are younger and for some of the audience that should know better, made the show super pivotal. So in today and age, we still dealing with old subjects, and there's some new stuff that we dealing with too. That I hope that they really tackle, and I hope they don't do it in a cheesy ass way. I really hope that this show is going to be fire. I really do. I'm rooting for this show. It comes out first episode September 24th. So it gives us something to look forward to. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see more clips moving forward, more trailers moving forward as far as the a different world reboot. So I'm looking forward to it. But Netflix, for the love of God, please have Debbie Allen a part of this. Please make sure you have your Dawn Lewis of the worlds a part of this, who played the original Jaleesa. I believe, oh my God, I'm not sure if Glenn Sherman is still around, but if he is, please have him a part of this. Please. I believe Glenn Glenn Sherman is still around. Please have him a part of this. The Patti LaBelle's, have her a part of this shit, bro, because it matters. It matters. Like, I really hope they don't mess this up. I really do. I really hope they don't mess this up. So, A Different World will be back September 24th on Netflix. All right, so moving on to our next hot topic. We got ourselves an NBA Finals. The Knicks versus the Spurs. Man, this is going to be popping. The Spurs beat OKC 101, not 101, 111 to 103. They won last night, game 7, and that game was epic. Um, I'm so glad for the Spurs. Seeing a young team like this, and they're hungry, and they look like they want to be great, they want to win. I'm really pulling for them, man. I really am. And especially for a guy like Wemby, who has all this athleticism, all this skill, all rolled into one, and he's young. And it would behoove San Antonio not to waste his years. When he's on the tear, the way that he's played this year, don't waste the years. Those players got to go just as hard, just as crazy, like they've been doing. Castle, like, you don't want to tell a guy, turn it up. Castle is the type of guy you got to, like, yo, hold on, bro, just come back a little bit. Come back a little bit, because Castle, he out there balling, and it's not just X's and O's. It's not just making a basket, but he's making stops. He's playing with a tenacity. You see young Dylan Harper playing with a tenacity. You see the difference that it makes when a guy like Carter Bryant, when he gets in the game, his tenacity. You see some of the other veteran guys, just them playing together. A guy like Champagnie. Champagnie been busting them shots, bro. Champagnie, you don't close out on Champagnie. He gonna hit about 5, at least 5, and he's gonna his threes are important. His threes are not empty calories. His threes change the volume of the game. DeAndre Fox. At first, I was like, damn, they don't need 2 point guards. They need 2 point guards. De'Aaron Fox. When he's in the game is just different. The game is just different. He settles everybody down, and he's a point guard. The game is different. He gets easy baskets when he needs to get easy baskets, and he makes it really tough on teams' best scorers. He makes it real tough, especially their point guards. I really like this team. I really like the only part of this team that really needs to bulk up is when Wemby comes out the game. They're gonna need another guy to really be in the paint. Cornette, he's playing hard. He's playing his best, but there's not a fear factor. It's not a fear factor. But he's playing hard. He's giving it all he got. He had one of the best and probably the most important blocks in Spurs history in a playoff game, in a playoff series. He's playing hard. But when Wemby's in the game, there's a deterrent factor just on his presence alone. I mean, you've seen Hartenstein all series. He developed a Wemby shot. He released the shot so high that Wemby can't block it. So I'm really liking what I see out of the Spurs again, from their energy, their tenacity. I hope they win it all. I really do. I really do. And it's going to be box office because the Knicks is really good. The Knicks have a legit chance to win. They have a legit chance to win. And even though I think the Thunder is more suited for the Knicks based on size and style, but the Spurs can beat the Knicks. But the Knicks can beat the Spurs. It's going to come down to is if the Knicks' big wings, if their big wings can have it their way with the Spurs' smaller wings. That's what it's all going to come down to. If the Knicks' wings can have their way both on offense and defense, then the Knicks will win the series. They will win the series. Brunson, you got Dylan Harper, you got De'Aaron Fox. That matchup in itself is gonna get crazy. You got Champagnie. Champagnie will probably be guarding He will probably be guarding. Um, he'll probably be guarding the kid from Toronto. I always forget his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The kid from Toronto, from the Toronto Raptors. I'm forgetting his name right now, but the big one of the OG. I couldn't say. I couldn't think of his name. Oh, he's going to be guarding OG. Um, Obviously, is going to be guarding Cat, and that's going to be an interesting matchup because Cat like to play outside. He likes to play outside. He's not going to deal with Wimby in the post. I don't see that happening at all. So it's going to make their offense very wide, and they're going to try to take Wimby away from the paint because Cat can't hit them shots. Cat, you can't leave Cat wide open for 3-point shots. It's just a fact. But it's going to matter how they scheme it up because now on offense, because again, Knicks got to play defense too. Cat, he can't do nothing with Wimby at all. Can't do nothing. Can't do nothing. The Spurs guards is quicker than the Knicks big forwards. But again, on the offensive side, the Knicks big forwards, they got an advantage too. So it's going to be an interesting series. I can't wait to see it. Styles make fights, and this is going to be a wonderful series. The final start this Wednesday, and it's going to be a fire. It's going to be fire. I think this series is going to go to Game 7. It's going to go to Game 7. I really believe that. Some people say 6. Everybody got 6. I got Game 7. I got Game 7. I want to see a Game 7, and I want to see the Spurs win. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Uh, but this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I'll tell you one thing. If the Knicks win, Brunson has to play out of his mind. Obviously, the Knicks big forwards have to win this game, or their big wings have to win. But they're going to credit Brunson for this. They're going to credit Brunson for this. And if he's able to win and pull it out for the Knicks, he's going to go down in New York history. And once you go down in New York history, your name won't die forever. It's like a book all in itself. People still praise Clyde Frazier for what he did with the Knicks. He won 2 championships with the Knicks, 71, 73. And you still will see him at these games showing love, and the people still love Walt Clyde Frazier. Still love him. Mind you, the last championship the Knicks won, he was the spearhead of that, and the average rent in New York City was $175. And people still love this dude. So if they win, Brunson is going to go down in New York history. Obviously NBA history too, but New York history he's basically the new mayor of the city. He's going to be the new mayor of the city. He could go anywhere, do anything, and nobody will bat an eye. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If they're able to win, he's going to get credit, and he's going to be the new mayor of the city. Madani is not the mayor of New York City. Brunson is going to be the new mayor of New York City if the Knicks win the finals. That's just the type of place New York is. I'm telling you, we love sports in New York City, and the Knicks fans that are real Knicks fans, not the casuals, love the Knicks. And if they win, they're going to credit Brunson, and he's going to be the new mayor of New York City. Now, if San Antonio wins, which I predict that they do, it's just a great trajectory for those players' career. Not just Wemby, but Dylan Harper and all the great young players that they have on San Antonio. It's just a great trajectory of their career. And they'll forever be regarded as champions, as winners, as guys that played a lot of important basketball. And that shit makes a difference. So this is going. It has too many storylines for this, and I believe Brunson's dad is a part of the coaching staff, which is also fire too. I remember Brunson's dad that he played. I remember his dad playing for like the Knicks in Philly and Toronto. Rick Brunson. I remember when Rick Brunson was on those teams. But this is going to be a fire series. I'm looking forward to this series. And this series, energy-wise, it may favor the Spurs. And some people are like, how? They just play 7 games because they play 7 games. Their body is still in play mode. It's muscle memory. They ready to go. The last thing you want to do as a team that swept a team is having to wait on another team. So you've been practicing, but it's not game speed is not the same. So I think the Spurs have an advantage in energy as well too. Shout out to Baby Grizz in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit the likes, hit the 100 to help with the growth of the show. My father-in-law name is Dixon. Okay. I don't know if you were serious or you're trolling, bro. But I didn't finish the rest of that. You know what I mean? Because again, it felt so unserious. If you're here to support, bro. You know what I'm saying? Support, bro. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. I would keep the lie alive segment. So I keep the lie alive for this episode is, man, they make this shit up as they go along. That's why I keep the lie alive for this episode. The reason why I say that is because again I moved to Florida. Love Florida. Been a Brooklynite all my life. You know what I'm saying? Love New York because I was raised in New York, but I didn't want to live in New York no more. No. So I moved a while ago. That's been yesterday. But I digress. So Governor Ron DeSantis has came out and said he will put on the ballot for Florida voters that your homestead property, excuse me, he will put on the ballot for voters for the homestead property tax to be free, which is a major change for people that own homes. Shout out to Baby Grizz. He said it's all love. And I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate a good joke. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate a good joke. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. But Ron DeSantis is basically, because for most people don't understand, they passed basically, or they're passing the ruling that if you own a home in Florida, you no longer have to pay property tax once you've paid it off. But that's for your personal dwelling. So if you live in that home and you bought it and you done paid your mortgage, and once you finish paying your mortgage and your property tax within your mortgage period, once you done paid the house off, it's a wrap. You don't have to pay property tax to keep your home, because that's how it normally was. Even after you paid $400,000 on your house, you would still have to pay taxes on the house, right? Now in Florida, that personal dwelling, once you done paid it off, you don't got to pay property tax. The bank can't come take your home. So that was also a thing. And now you have the homestead to make sure that the property tax is free as well too. So, and that plays a major part into the taxes as well, because some people do pay homestead on their taxes depending on certain areas in Florida. But that's the certain areas in the world. You could live in Buffalo. People in Buffalo pay homestead. People in certain parts of Florida pay home. People anywhere, depending on where you live in that area, pays a homestead. So, and it depends on how you set up, how you bought your house as well too. So, this is a major shift. So again, the reason why I say they make this shit up as they go along. Same thing with rent. Same thing with cost of living. If the governor is able to do this for Florida in itself, for the state of Florida, why can't they do this shit everywhere else? Why can't they do this shit in New York? Why can't they do this in Los Angeles? Why can't they do this in every other state? Not just paying the house off. Why do the house that was previously sold or bought at 140, now it's 189 because the previous owner put up a new sink in the bathroom, so that makes the house value be resold at 189. You know how much it costs to buy a sink? It's not an extra 60,000, I tell you that much. You know how much it costs to install a sink? It don't cost that much. So again, why can't the cost of living be like this? Why can't the cost of living go back to when gas was 129? Why? Why? But now they raising it so high Now, when it goes back down, we're gonna be like, oh, the gas went down, but it's still higher than what it was before. And that's how it's been ever since I can remember. I remember when gas was like 129. I remember when gas got to basically 232. People was tripping like, this shit is 232. This is crazy. And people say we would never get back to the prices, but why? They make this shit up as they go along, and it's not helping the people. You seeing people lose their homes. You seeing people being priced out. I got groceries today. I get the same thing I always get. Those groceries of about 4 months ago, $60. Today, $112. Same shit. It's like, what are you gonna do? I bought a you know a baked chicken. You know what I mean? That come in a personal can that normally would be $6. Shit was damn near 10. It's like, yo, if they could do this with just housing or homes in one area, best believe they could do it on a federal level. Best believe they make this shit up as they go along. Taxes, all in itself. How much they going to tax you? Where they going to tax you? When they going to tax you? They make this shit up as they go along. So the fact that if Ron DeSantis could change this for Florida, and the only scary part about that is, like, I'm kind of like a gatekeeper. Like, y'all don't have to move to Florida, man. It's packed. You know, I'm being a jerk when I say that because Florida is nice, it's clean, but it's not as cheap as y'all think it is. And the more people that keep moving to this mall, it's going to get more expensive. So, but they can do this everywhere else. That's just the point that I'm making. And not just everywhere else with the homes. They could do this with everything else. Gas, food, rent, mortgages. They could do this in every aspect. They make this shit up as they go along. So that's my keep the lie alive for this episode. Shout got my dog Tom in the building. Appreciate my dog Tom for tapping in, man. Ashley and chat family, respect. Uh, what is that? Only time we could really control is our lives and our health stay consistent and healthy. That's a fact, my bro. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. He said I just woke up. First thing I seen was Vivica Fox. I went back to sleep. I thought I was dreaming. I was actually up. Lord Jesus, all these women looking like yo. That a lot of them do got the same makeup. They do got the same. Every I don't want to say no woman name. You know what I'm saying, but I get the point that you're making because I was about to say somebody name and it was gonna sound mean, but a lot of women out here, I will say this name. A lot of women out here want the Kim Kardashian look, right? They want to have the whatever the hell type of makeup she wears. They want to have the BBL. Yo, ask men. We like naturally fit women. We want you to be yourself. We don't want them wigs and shit. A little makeup cool, but yo, let your essence shine, baby. You'll get that thing on your shoulder faster than you know it. You know what I mean? I know it was fire show, bro. Like always, New York Santa Lashley, don't say no names with Claudia. Yo, you stupid. If you look back in the 70s, you look at our sisters and those afros, that meant something. Bro, I'm not gonna hold you, right? I watch older movies from the 70s and the 80s, and yo, our uncles, our dads, grandparents, yo, y'all had some fine shit back then too. Fine, like just naturally fine. Like, yo, talk about freaked out. What? And then the 90s was just but the beautiful thing, I will say this, right? The beautiful thing about going back and looking at the 70s, 80s, obviously growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, we seen all types of fine ass women. And then some of the women that didn't take relationships serious, didn't take their men serious, they thought they was gonna be beautiful forever. And you seen the fall off and be like, damn, you feel hard, boo. And it's like, what do a dude get for being with you, even though you beautiful? You know what I'm saying? But ladies, I will say this because I care. Natural is better. Being naturally fit, being naturally beautiful. Tell you, man. Tell you, any dude that prefer you to look like somebody else other than yourself. Like when I say when I say this, I'm not trying to be mean. Like we all been to like elementary school before. We all been to junior high school. We all been to high school. We know who the natural pretty girls are. We know this. And ladies, I'm pretty sure y'all know who's the naturally good looking guys. So who y'all think is a good looking guy, right? And the guys that was popular in high school because the girls thought they was handsome or whatever. Look at their girlfriends in high school. It was naturally cute. Naturally cute. I didn't say they was the most baddest thing in the world, but they was naturally cute. Even if they wasn't dolled up all the time, they were still naturally cute. Just saying. Pam Grier was the hottest thing on TV. You couldn't get no better than that. Pam Grier, Ashley, is real talk, bro. We brothers get older. Our pockets are nice, and we first saw crazy. We saw so crazy good. We women, those are like the wicker fox get old, they get worse. And honestly, whether you're a man or a female, right? The reason why most people get terrible as they get older for real is just their outlook on life. If their outlook is shitty, they start looking like shit. And then they start talking that shit. So I always believe if a woman talk crazy, that means her lady part smells like garbage truck juice. You know what I'm saying? Where she don't care about herself to keep upkeep herself naturally, right? So and with dudes who have that negative energy and just don't got no motion, they always got something negative to say, right? And anything they have to say is not in a real critique, it's not in a real like essence of really trying to like make somebody better or you know what I'm saying? Like it just sounds like just pure shit. And like, yeah, you don't be on that type of time. You don't be on that, you know what I'm saying? You don't be on that type of time. Like I remember one of my exes was telling me that one of her friends, her boyfriend was telling his girl some crazy whatever, and I looked at the dude and I was like, he don't get no girls. He don't get no girls. She ain't got nothing to worry about. And my ex started laughing. She was like, yo, it's like how you can tell? I was like, cause dudes can tell when dudes get attention from girls or from women. We can tell. We don't study that shit. We just know. I played football, basketball, I boxed. So I've been on several teams. I lived on a block where it was mad dudes. It was always competitive. You know which dude get girls, and it's not like you don't have to study that. I had an older brother. I had an older brother. Girls, women loved him coming up. Where Miles at? Miles, Miles, Miles. You know when dudes get chicks. You know it. So when he was talking, I'm like, she don't got nothing to worry about. And that wasn't a diss to him, but it was just like again, when people speak negatively, they get negative results. So you know what I mean? A woman like Pam Grier, she still look kind of good now. For real. I don't want to diss her and nothing like that, but you get the point that I'm making. Like, out of respect. She still looks good for her age right now. Out of respect. So in her prime, I ain't gonna hold you. Oh, Ash should have had her like, what we doing next, baby? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But yeah, like it was just a different time. So ladies, we love y'all. We love y'all. Y'all beautiful. Do y'all thing. And I'm not saying that to placate because I don't do that shit. I keep it real over here. But I have to let y'all know, as men, we love y'all. Our love for y'all is accountability. That's a part of our love for you. If you have a nigga around you, excuse me, if you have a dude around you and he just lets you go and he doesn't hold you accountable, he's never gonna take you serious. Never gonna take you serious. There's several women. There was a couple women. There was a couple women that said to me, "The problem is, Ash, you don't take me serious. That's why we was never together for real, because you don't take me serious." And the reason being I didn't take him serious, a part of it was I didn't hold him accountable. Because I don't, you do your thing. If you do your thing, like I care about you as a person, I want you to succeed as a person. But if I don't hold you accountable, that means I don't have no plans for you exclusively. That matters. So us holding you accountable is a part of our love. And if we love you enough to hold you accountable for some shit, don't take it for granted if you want to get taken serious by that dude. Just saying. Ashley, you was getting them chicks. You had the cheat code. You had New York City. You had an older brother. You probably had some stuff handed to you. You probably didn't have to go to McDonald's. Now, bro, it's so crazy. The internet is so wild. I didn't even know like certain restaurants was like a no go. And I'm not saying this as a brag, but I never had that complaint. Wherever I took a woman, she ain't never complained. I took a woman to Blimpies, Fridays, what's the other one? What was my spot coming up in college and in after college? Damn, I can't think of the other spot. They 2 for $20 spot, but that spot, like we go to the pizza store, you get 2 slices of it. You had a good time, babe? I had a good time. Never had no problems of where I took a woman to get a Chinese food, all that. Never had a problem. Never had a problem. McDonald's, all good. All good. You probably had Mom Dukes that had food cooked every single day. Nah, my mother worked too much for her to cook every day, but when she cooked, she did cook. She did cook. When she cooked, she put a foot in it too. It was delicious, but not every day because she worked too much. So I was a latchkey kid. I had to basically take care of myself. Father at work, mother at work, brother in the streets going crazy, and I'm going crazy because I wasn't in the house like that. Well, I don't want to say too much, but you get the point that I'm making. Actually, my mom and pops are from Costa Rica and Panama. That's lit. The only thing we used to eat was Chinese food. In the 90s in Brooklyn, bro, that was some of the best food you could ever have. We went to Red Lobster on dates. We went to Outback Steakhouse. See, y'all have money. You know what I'm saying? A woman couldn't get. I wasn't taking women to Red Lobster until she became my woman as an adult. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't do. I didn't do that on the rag. You know what I'm saying? It was struggle growing up. I ain't gonna hold you. Outback Steakhouse, yeah, that's that money. You know what I'm saying? So somebody had no money in the family. It's all good though. It's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We used to eat Chinese food restaurant, Thai restaurant spots. We had the cheat code. We ate the pizza before McDonald's. Back then, female was so appreciative. That's what I'm saying. It was an appreciation that came with it. It wasn't about the restaurant we went to. It was about the company that you kept, and the energy was just the energy. It was a good time. So no matter where I took a woman, whether it was as a teenager, a young adult, or an adult in itself, it was never like, oh, you brought me to Red Lobster. Oh, you brought me here. Oh, you brought me. It was like, damn, I'm having a good time. Like, oh, for real, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was Cheddar's or whatever, I think it's called Cheddar's, whether it was Ruby Tuesdays, any of them spots, it was always, I had Taco Bell's. I had a good time. I had a good time. I bet you did. And I would be reluctant. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm reluctant on dates. I don't like taking a woman on a date the first time we hang out. You come to the house. You come to my place, Netflix and chill. And if I like you like that, I'll take you out afterwards. But come to the crib and we can get our chill on first. That I ain't gonna hold you. That's MO. That was my MO. I think you just came in. So, like I said, when I went to watch the game yesterday at the bar, I went by myself, and there was a young lady that came and sat right next to me. And then, we started talking, right? Crazy thing is, she was waiting for her date. She was waiting for a date. A date hit on her phone like, hey, I'm outside. And she was like, "Oh, all right, it was nice meeting you." Da da da. I was like, "Yeah, yo, you know what I'm saying? Take my number." She like, "What? What? My date is outside. He's like kind of watching me. Take mine. Can't make this up. And I ain't gonna blow it up neither. You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna blow it up when I went outside because they had like it was the inside part of the bar and the outside part of the bar. They was on the outside. I didn't blow it up. I didn't even look in that direction. I didn't even look. Have a good time. When I say later, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? He get his time, I got, you know what I mean? Ashley, when you get your first car, I have my first car at 16. I got my first car at 24. That's when I got my first car. I was driving, but I got my first car at 24. I got mine late. My father had the permit. We had to drive and adult. Yeah, yeah. I got my first car late. I would call that late. I would call that late. My mom Dukes gave approval. She liked her. If she liked her, she could have came over. If she wasn't having it. Yeah, I mean, I moved out kind of early too. It's just one of those families like, yo, when you get a certain age, yo, you go to college. When you come back, home ain't home no more. Home ain't home no more. What home said what Chrome meet Chrome? Like, yeah, home ain't home no more. It's like, damn, like I had to get my own spot. You know what I'm saying? And I had my daughter at that time too. So even my pops was like, yo, two lions can't live in the same cave, dog. He said that to me. Came back, had my stuff, had my little money, packed my stuff up. He like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, yo, you said it, yo, ain't two kings can't be in the castle, dog. You know what I'm saying? I found me a spot. He's like, what? Yeah, I found me a spot, dog. I'ma holler. He like, yo, where you live? Yo, shout out to my pops if you see him in the back. He be like, yo, where you live at though? Like, yo, that shit was hilarious because you know what I'm saying? Like he was talking real smooth, yeah, you gotta, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got a daughter now. You know what I'm saying? You got your education, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you going to school? I'm sorry, you going to school at the time? And he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I got me a spot. He was like, oh, what? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. He was like, damn. He's like, you need a ride or something? Like, I want to see where you live at, though. That it was funny though. That was funny. I ain't gonna hold you. That was funny. That whole sequence. And then I went to the store and I came back and my pops was doing like all types of stuff around my place. He putting up just like little shit. And I'm like, yo, what you doing? And he like, yo, what you mean? I'm like, yo, what you doing on my spot? He like, nah, I seen some things or whatever, so I just, wanted to put some things up. I'm like, nah, like I wanna have my spot the way I wanna have my spot. Like, yo, what you doing? And I tell you, I felt so bad because I'm trying to, like, tears is coming out my eyes from laughter, but he like left like I don't want to say he was like a little kid that left, but he was like sad and shit, like because I didn't want him to help me like decorate my spot. Like I've been waiting to have the spot. Like, yo, I'm trying not to like cry from laughter, but that shit was funny now that I think about it. I went to the store, came back, He just had like different plugins. He had like he did something with the computer. He was just doing shit. I'm like, what is this? What are you doing? He was like, nah, I just thought, nah, yo, I'll tell you what you do with yours. You can't come up in here dictating nothing. Yo, funny ass shit. Uh, talking about pops, I remember. Oh man, shit, I'm really crying from laughter, y'all. Don't pay me no mind. Uh, talking about pops. I remember he came home. I was sleeping with. Oh my god, my eyes. I was sleeping with. Woke up with me and said, "I know there's something to do around the house. Get your ass up, wash the dishes, clean the backyard." Oh my god, he was willing. That's what I loved about my mom Dukes. Mom Dukes came by, uh, help help with me with cleaning the house, and then how you hook it up with my sisters. Yeah, yeah. Even my mother, she already knew the program. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I already know how you are. Like, I like my shit, real particular. So it's like, damn. Oh my god, I'm like trying to fight the tears because I'm really like laughing, y'all. I'm really not like crying or whatever. And it's the combination of the lights too. But that shit was funny though. But I see what you're saying with your pops and your Bob Dukes. It's like it's good to have that support too when they come and show love like that. Damn. Oh my god, that was funny. Oh man. Shout out to my pops too. Rest in peace to my pops. Shout out to your families, y'all out there and showing major, major love. Y'all. I really appreciate y'all each and every episode. This was the Sunday episode. I'm on every Wednesday. I'm on every Sunday. Keep engaging with those videos. I drop videos daily and I've been seeing y'all comments. Y'all be going in on the comments. Y'all are savages in the comments and I love it too. Ashley, my mom went into that bathroom first, cleaned it, and went into the kitchen with me, my sisters. So when it came over to my house, the bathroom and the kitchen was spotless. Yeah, ain't nothing like when you get that when you get that love. I ain't gonna hold you like my mother ain't never clean up my spot, man. She wouldn't do it. She was like, yo, this is your space. I'm here. Like, can I get something to drink? Like my mother would crack jokes like that. She's like, can I get something to drink though? I'm thirsty. Can I get something to drink? What you watching? Like, I want to watch what you watching. So it like my mom was just like that when she came over. Shout out to my dog Patrick in the building. You already know what's up, my dude. Let's go, Knicks. LOL. Shout out to my dude Patrick, man. Like I said, I'm not no hater. I'm not no hater. I really wish y'all the best. I think the Spurs gonna win, but I really wish the Knicks the best. I say that wholeheartedly. I say that wholeheartedly. I really mean that. I wish them the best. It's just the fans, y'all. You Patrick, you know y'all unbearable, bro. Y'all know you know that. And if y'all win, we gonna hear this for the next 50 years. Next 50 years, for sure. So my mom would come over my spot. She would come over my spot, but would tell me when she's coming in the kitchen, bathroom, be on point, and would never go into my room. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's I. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna say the story I was about to say. Yeah, about my mother coming to my house and I had company, and yeah, I'm just not gonna go into that. Just yeah. Time I got the Spurs in 6. I believe the NBA has a new face of the league, which Wimby, they're promoting him on every channel, sports being a dynasty. Yeah, the reason Wimby will probably be the face of the league, they don't want Wimby to be the face of the league, though. They don't want Wimby to be the face of the league because he's French. He's from France, right? He's not American born, but they're going to use Wimby to popularize the sport. That's what they do with all great non-American athletes that play in American sports, right? They use the time that they're good and they use it to popularize the sport. But they don't want Wimby to be the face of the league because he's not American born. If he was American born, he would be the face of the league. But Wimby is like, yo, I don't give a fuck who y'all make the face of the league. I'm gonna bust their ass. That's how Wimby is playing. Wimby want all the smoke. He want all the smoke. That's how he's playing. That's how he's really playing. He wants all the smoke, dog. So Wimby's gonna be around. Wimby, to me, when Wimby came out, I said, yo, this dude gonna be special. And you know, if y'all remember Wimby's first year or that first half of the first year, it was kind of rough, right? So everybody's like, "Yo, Ash, I thought your boy was gonna be something." Then when he started blocking everybody's shot, when he started scoring, when he started putting it together, then it got quiet. I couldn't find nobody. Like, yo, where y'all at? Oh, well, it's quiet now. Yo, he scored 26 points, got 8 blocks, and 12 rebounds. Why is it so quiet? And 5 assists. Where y'all at? And they winning. Where y'all at? So, but I like the fact, honestly, when most Knicks fans hear me, because I'm hard on the Knicks, right? Y'all got terrible management, but y'all lucked up and got a player that no other big franchise wanted, and he came and turned y'all franchise around because he seen the value in himself. When Brunson came to the Knicks, that shit was a letdown. That was the same summer with KD, Kyrie went to Brooklyn, and everybody was like, yo, I remember they had posters. They had dreams of Zion and KD and Kyrie all in New York City, all as Knicks. I remember that. They had dreams of that. And Jalen Brunson got to the Knicks just on the humbug on the fact that Rick Brunson, his father, became one of the coaches on the Knicks or part of the staff. And was like, yo, y'all need to take a chance on Jalen. He liked that. And Jalen wants to win. Jalen is a big body Brunson. He balls out, bro. And he was able to turn that team around. So shout out to Brunson, man. Shout out to Brunson. Shout out to Brunson. But the point that I'm making is the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. I will say that. The NBA is better. But Wemby going to be around, dog. Wemby going to be around. And that goes for my Nets, too. As we still rebuilding, we intentionally tanked the last 2 years. Intentionally. That shit drives me crazy. But I get it because if you look at the history of the Nets, we've always been good as far as in Brooklyn. We've always gone for it. Our owner don't like being terrible. He like, who we could get him. All right, bet. All right. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. When we had Joe Johnson, we had Darren Williams. We went to go get some veterans. We went to go get Garnett. We went to go get Gerald Ford. We went to before Garnett got there. We had Gerald Ford. We had I'm sorry, Ford. We had Gerald Wallace. We had Brooke Lopez. Oh my God, I can't think of the other 4 men. Then we bring in Garnett and Pierce. We've always gone for it. Then Kyrie, KD, Harden. We thought Ben Simmons was going to bounce back. We've always gone for we've always gone for the swing. But I will say this. When the New York Knicks is good, it's great for the NBA. For sure. For sure. They said in the chat, I missed a couple of the chats. I think it's time the Knicks fans have suffered and waited long enough. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if y'all see my thing with y'all, winning is not enough for y'all. It's not enough. That's my only thing with Knicks fans. Like when the other team try to walk out the stadium, like the average New Yorkers, like it's like, yo, take that jersey off, bro. Like you know how we are, bro. It's like we don't like you because we don't like you. Now you got the jersey on. Like, yo, take that shit up. Put that shit in your back pocket. Fold that shit up. You can't walk around and they try to walk out and they be like, oh, you know what? Take that off. Snap. Now you committing crimes. Can't assault somebody, take their jersey off, just snatch it off their body. But again, the NBA is better when the Knicks is good. I will say that. I will be honest. But I still want my Brooklyn Nets to, you know what I mean? Put belt to ass when we get back up to, to our stuff. We still got to build up. And we all know what they think about Jaylen Brown. Don't speak on Jaylen Brown. You're gonna look up and see him on another team next year. I don't think he's gonna be in Boston next year. I really don't, and he could be on any team. So don't speak on Jaylen Brown because you might end up with him on your team. The Brooklyn Nets, we've been talking about the conversation. The players that we talking about getting is real. This is like a real conversation. Jaylen Brown could for sure be a Brooklyn Net next year. I think Jaylen Brown. I think his best bet is to get traded to Phoenix. Give him his own team on Phoenix, and you trade him for Booker. Let Booker be on the Celtics, and let them move forward. Or you could trade, yeah. I think that's the best landing spot for Brown. Honestly, he's a good player though. I think Brown is a good player. Uh, One thing about Brown, Wemby is European, and what a way for the NBA to make a lot of money. Wemby to be the face of the league. They couldn't do Luka. He ate too damn much. I believe he was still smoking cigarettes. Yeah, Luka gonna smoke some cigarettes and drink some beer. Like that's how Luka party. You know what I'm saying? They gotta take the beer out of his hand. You know what I mean? Two things is gonna happen when New York win the championship or don't win the championship. They gonna tear the city and win, or they going to burn it down if they lose. I don't think they're gonna burn it down if they lose. I don't think so, but I can see that. I can see that, but I don't think that's gonna happen. This man is a registered. Shout out, get Nate up out of here. He up here talking stupid enough. We don't do the bots over here, Nate. We don't do the bots over here. I can't even. Nah. We don't do the bots over here, bro. We don't do the bots over here. Pack him all the way up. We don't do the bots over here. What is he talking about? Stupid. Patrick, time for the fans that didn't destroy the city. The Knicks lost in 94, 99. I'm old enough to remember. Well, let's keep it honest, right? 99, y'all wasn't going to win. So that's why it was cool in 99. That's why you didn't see the city in the uproar. Y'all wasn't going to win that. Y'all wasn't going to win. So we're going to be honest. Now, I can understand 94. I remember the 94. I remember 94. Y'all had a chance, man. Y'all had a chance. That was a good Rockets team. That was a really good. I still remember their five. That was Akeem Olajuwon. That was Otis Thorpe. That was Robin Horry. That was Mad Max. Vernon Maxwell, I should say. And that was Kenny Smith starting. And then you had Sam Cassell coming off the bench. That was a serious Rockets team. Serious Rockets team. And I believe the Knicks starting five, if I'm not mistaken, was Ewan, Oakley, Charles Smith, John Starks, and Derek Harper. That was a good five, too. Knicks had a good team. That was a good team that year. And y'all had a chance to win, for sure. Y'all had a chance to win. Nate, what are you talking about? Yeah, I got rid of Nate. I don't know, come on, come on, man. We get these every episode with the bots, man. That's crazy. I thought he was Fruity Pebble Ray. I was gonna say the full name. That's why when I read this stuff, I gotta read it and proofread it at the same time. And I be trying to find words to substitute what y'all be saying. So I thought that was Fruity Pebble Ray. I'm not gonna finish the name and the agency. I just don't pay no brothers no attention. Baby moving like Judge Mathis in the courtroom. Yeah, some of these dudes be saying the wildest things in the chat, man. But my point is that they didn't destroy the city. I said this about the Knicks too. If the Knicks win the championship, New York City honestly will be the most peaceful we ever seen it. The first 48 hours is going to be Gotham City because the city is going to be so excited. It's going to be like, it's going to have New York energy. It's going to be up, right? But after that, weeks, it's going to be a peace. in the city, like things that was serious, beef, or anything that was negative. People like, yo, you know what? It's really not that serious, bro. Like I'm too much in the good mood to really be pissed off. So you're gonna see a lot of peace in New York City, in my opinion, if they do win. Now, if they do lose, it's gonna be like a body drop. It's gonna feel like a body drop, but I don't think they're gonna tear the city up. Now, if they get cheated, like if they, if the ref cheat them out or something, then I can see that. But I don't think it's going to be like that. You're going to have good calls and you're going to have bad calls on both sides of the ball. Um, if the Knicks win the championship, that would be the best parade in history. I would agree to that. I do agree on that. If the Knicks win the championship, that parade is going to be crazy. That parade is going to be crazy, but crazy in the sense of it's going to be a lot of like just great energy. Do I think it's going to be a lot of fights and it's going to be like stupid shit? I don't believe there's going to be stupid stuff. I honestly do believe that. I think it's going to be like relatively peaceful, but exciting. Like people will have a good time. Is the point that I'm making. Don't forget Mario Ellie. People forget about Mario Ellie, backbone of the team. I didn't forget about Mario Ellie. Came the next year. He wasn't on that 93-94 team. He came the next year. He came with it was Mario Ellie, and like two other guys that came the next year. When people talk about the Bulls and when Michael Jordan retired in '93, I believe obviously that it would have been the Bulls versus the Rockets. Chicago would have got the Rockets up out of there in 90 in 90 in 94. Excuse me, in 94. They would have got the Rockets up out of there. Now in '95, when the Rockets retooled, and then Mario Elliott was a part of that '95 team, I think the Chicago Bulls would have probably lost that '95 team of the Rockets. But if Jordan didn't retire again, like Jordan retired twice in his prime, right? If he didn't retire in that '99, it's so crazy. Anytime Jordan retired, the Knicks went to the finals. When he retired basically he was out for '94. Y'all went to the finals. When he was out for '99, y'all went to the finals. Because remember, if he didn't have that beef with the GM, they would have kept that team together. Because Jordan said, "Yo, I will stay as long as my coach stays." Pippen would have probably been gone, but you could have replaced Pippen his production at that time. But you still would have had You still would have had majority of that team, and I think that Chicago Bulls team would have beaten the San Antonio Spurs, in my opinion. In my opinion, I believe so. I'm with you, Ash. Houston would beat Chicago Bulls. Could they have been? Could have been nobody to handle King Olajuwon. See, the thing is with that first Chicago team, when you talk about Bill Cartwright, Bill Cartwright didn't have to stop Olajuwon. He just had to make it uncomfortable. And Cartwright, people forget Cartwright was a big body. Cartwright was a full 7-footer. People say, oh, the difference was Pippen, right? Pippen had to develop, right? But he wasn't the de facto difference. Chicago used to be small. Remember, when Chicago was losing to Detroit, they was losing with Oakley and Scottie Pippen because they was short. They was small. They was a small team. When they brought in Bill Cartwright, it changed everything. Cartwright don't have to stop Olajuwon. He's a big body. He can make it uncomfortable, but he doesn't have to like stick him. So, but the point that I'm making is Olajuwon on Cartwright would average 24, 25 realistically in the finals, give you about like 12 rebounds. But guess what Cartwright going to do to Olajuwon? Cartwright would average probably 15 to 16 on Olajuwon, and that's enough. So you know what I'm saying? But even though Vernon Maxwell was a hell of a player, and some of Jordan's toughest battles came from Vernon Maxwell, but Jordan is Jordan, bro. Jordan is Jordan, bro. And then Otis Thorpe, when you look at Otis Thorpe, Horace Grant is basically the same thing. So that evens each other out. Scottie Pippen, Robert Horry. I've always looked at them almost the same. People forget like young Robert Horry, slim Robert Horry, small forward Robert Horry, running and gunning. He mirrored a lot of Pippen. He mirrored a lot of Pippen. So that would have been a great series. That would have been a great series. And mind you, that first Bulls team, BJ Armstrong, um, not Mark Price, BJ Armstrong, Bill Paxton, they going up against Sam Cassell, Kenny Smith. That kind of evens itself out. And you got to deal with MJ. You got to deal with MJ, dog. Like, so that would have been a good one. He said Steve Kerr. No, Steve Kerr was a part of the second crew. It was B.J. Armstrong and Bill Paxton that was a part of that first crew. That first crew, remember, was B.J. Armstrong, Bill Paxton, Cartwright, Horace Grant. That was the first crew. The second crew is Ron Harper, Steve Kerr, Rodman, Bill Wennington, Luke Longley. That's the second crew. You know what I'm saying? So that Houston team, that 94 team, would have played against that first crew. See what I'm saying? So, but yeah. Yes, that was his cousin. Same game was his cousin. Kenny Smith, New York City legend, point guard from North Carolina. That's a fact. Played with Michael Jordan. At North Carolina, yep, that's a fact. Michael won championship. Mario Ellie on that team. Pat, I can tell. Good. It was his brother. Kobe. Shout out to 30 in the building. Shout out to Sang in the building. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. But yeah, so I honestly believe if Jordan would have never retired in that 94 team, they, in my opinion, they was going to beat the Rockets. In my opinion, they would have beat the Rockets. That second crew, when they lost Horace Grant to the Magics, and they had to bring in Rodman. I think that 95 Rockets team would have beat the Chicago Bulls. But that 99 team, when the San Antonio Spurs beat the Knicks, instead of the Knicks, if they would never broke the Bulls up because they just won another 3 in a row, that Bulls team wasn't losing to that San Antonio team. They wasn't losing. Because you got Rodman that designed for Tim Duncan. You have an older version of David Robinson. Mind you, we got Luke Longley and Bill. Well, they had Luke Longley and Bill Wennington. They not stopping prime David Robinson, but David Robinson was an older guy at that time. Bill Wennington could score. People don't realize he gave buckets off the bench. Luke Longley could score. He wasn't a high volume guy, but he could give you some work. So the production would have just matched. Dog. Ain't nobody doing nothing with MJ on that San Antonio team. Sean Elliott was a hell of a fire player, but he not stopping on MJ. Vinny Del Negro, he not stopping on MJ. Avery Johnson, come on. And these are great players. I don't want to disrespect them, but damn, they not messing with no MJ. Nah, not 99 MJ. Not that MJ that just beat the Utah Jazz twice. Yeah, nah. That always used to bother me that MJ retired twice in his prime, which is crazy. And when people talk about the GOAT conversation, people don't realize that Jordan retired 3 times in his career and twice in his prime. Like, what, bro? Like, you so good. Like, he just got bored. Like, yo, I don't even want to compete no more for real. Like, this shit is kind of ass. I'm going to go play baseball. I'm going to do some shit I ain't great at and get good at that. Like, that's crazy to me. Pat, I can tell. I agree. I believe they should have gave MJ another ring for a championship, but Michael was having problems with the owners. It wasn't the owners for real. It was the GM. It was the GM. The GM, him and the GM thought it was him, and Michael was like, "Yeah, nah, bro. I'm MJ, dog. Like this shit was gonna happen regardless." Yo, and the players felt like that too. MJ wasn't the only one that felt like that. Even Scottie Pippen felt like that because it was an issue with Scottie Pippen and that same particular GM. Like it was like that GM really sabotaged that team. And the reason why I say he sabotaged that team is because you lose that version of that team and you're ass after that. And you're ass for a long time. For a long time. I used to be a Chicago Bulls fan before the Brooklyn Nets came to Brooklyn. Once the Nets came to Brooklyn, I put all my Chicago shit down, even when we was terrible. Because remember when Jordan retired, we had I don't even want to name some of these dudes, but it was seasons. It was plenty of seasons. We went like 14, 21 games. I mean, it was rough, rough. It got better when Rose finally came, but by the time Rose came into the lead and when Jordan basically left the Bulls for the final time, dog, nasty work. Nasty work. So it was contentious between them and with the coach. Cause Jordan was like, yo, I'll stay if Phil is back. And he told Phil, like, yo, it's a wrap, dog. So he called Jordan's bluff. So the fact that he retired 3 times is the fact that he's no doubt the GOAT. That's a fact. That's a fact. I say let Jordan have 100. Everybody else have 2 points. Uh, Pat Ash, you throwing a watch party in Florida? Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. If anything, I'll be at the bar, just chilling. And the people at the bar, like, I think they hate and like to see me coming at the same time because I don't drink. I don't drink. I'm like, yeah, give me the water. They be like, what? Yeah, the water. You know what I'm saying? I drink water. Y'all don't got alkaline up in this piece? Nah. All right, so bring me the water. I drink water, dog. You know what I'm saying? Drink water. And I'm not a restaurant food eating person. I'm not. So I think they hate to see. They like it because I'm easy to deal with, and they hate it because I'm not ordering nothing like heavy. So, but I came to see the game. Shout out to all the Brooklyn Nets. It's been a long time since I've been to Cancun. Hopefully, you guys can get a room, not a hookup, but let me know where I can stay when I get to Cancun. Yeah, I mean, yo, they said this year that for sure our team is gonna look different. We purposely tanked for the last 2 3 years. Purposely, it was apparent that we was tanking. And now that the NBA's came out with the anti-tanking rules, which I love, might I add, ain't gonna be no more tanking. I mean, don't be surprised if the Brooklyn Nets, because I've been hearing this shit daily, not just with our picks, but don't be surprised if we end up with like a few marquee players, because one, we have the cap space, and we need a franchise player. We need something exciting. The fan base want to be excited, and mind you, we was tanking for the last 2 years, and we got like one of the highest attendances at our games. Believe it or not, we had like 99% attendance rate. 99%. So I can't imagine we get a young superstar in the building, how exciting it's gonna be again. So, it's all good. It's all good. Uh there's a water called Flow Alkaline Cucumber Mint. I just purchased this. Pretty good. Yeah, I just get the regular alkaline. I just get that. But if I'm at the restaurant to watch the game, I drink the water that they have. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that I ain't gonna be doing no watch parties. You know what I'm saying? I had a good time at the bar last night. I ain't gonna hold you. I had a little good time. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Uh, time I try. That water is good. Yeah, alkaline is on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? I think I missed somebody. Shout out to him, bro. All right, so I got that. My dog, my party. They doing. Old brothers do not know how to handle liquor, and when X shows up, the ex showed up. We shouldn't fight because she don't want no more party over. Yeah, I mean, when you see your ladies, you dealing with ladies, you got alcohol, fellas. Act accordingly, man. At the end of the day, If your goal is to get the draws, just keep it cool. Just keep it cool. I just told y'all about what happened to me at the bar yesterday. I just told y'all. I'm sitting there watching the game. Young lady comes sit up next to me. Hey man, get her number. And she was on a date. She was on a date. Date was outside. So keep it cool is the point that I'm making. You know, that's the goal to get to the draws. Just keep it cool. It's actually for organic alkaline water. Florida got some hotties. Yeah, I mean, Florida, we do got some bad ones. I ain't gonna lie though. I prefer New York women mainly because with New York women, I get style. You know what I'm saying? I like a woman that put that shit on. I'm not gonna lie. I like a woman that put that shit on. And if you've been in New York, y'all know what I'm talking about. When women in New York, they put that shit on. And it's just such a turn on to me. They throw whatever they gonna wear, whether it's the boots with the high heels, the tight jeans, that should just be looking sexy on them. Just, you know what I mean? And they carry it a little differently. Florida women, eh, you have some very naturally pretty Florida women, right? Like very pretty. I ain't gonna hold you. But they don't put that shit on like that though. You know what I mean? Like some people think expensive means style. No. New York women got style. And the main reason why they got style is because it's competitive everywhere. In Florida, most people when they see me, they think I'm like dressed up. Like, yo, this shit is regular. Like, I ain't dressed up, this is regular. Y'all don't want to see me dressed up. I'll get crazy. This is regular. Because in New York, it's just a thing like, yo, you put your shit on. And it's not the most expensive shit. It's just how you put it on. It's how you rock it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody trying to stand out. And that's what I love about New York women. They got their own style. Florida women, I like the energy of Florida women because they just seem happy about life. New York women, they just it's rough out here, you know what I'm saying? But they gonna put that shit on, and I love their energy too. I love. Oh my god, born and raised in it. You know what I'm saying? Just love their energy. Florida women, hey man. Either way, it don't take much for both. To be honest with you, a New York woman, she just gotta know you that nigga. That's it. Once she know you that nigga, you in there like swimwear. And what I mean by she know you that nigga, meaning like, yo, you have a way about yourself that is like you that nigga. And they gonna mess with you. Florida women, just keep it cool. Just keep it cool. And you gonna be in there like swimwear, you heard? What up, Ash is saying? Absolutely true. The attitude is what attitude Philly got and DC girls got, Detroit girls got, Milwaukee. Oh hell no. Yeah, every place don't have it like that. But like even when I go to New Orleans, right? New Orleans, their women be so damn thick, so naturally pretty. See what I'm saying? They wear expensive shit, but they don't like put that shit on like that. But they just naturally like, and then and the way they speak, their accent. It get crazy with that accent. That's what I'm saying. Every area has something about the women there that makes them special. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be everything everywhere. Like Cali women, I don't know what's in the water, but out there they got some. Oh my God, just fine. All that California niece. I call that California niece out there. It's just dipped in that ocean, just fine as shit. I ain't gonna hold you sexy. It get crazy. It get crazy for sure. Atlanta women from Georgia, they built like superheroes. Big chest, big butt. They built like superheroes, bro. For both good and bads. And the women that are cute and pretty, they dime pieces, right? Or near dime pieces. The women that are not, even with chest and butt, you're still gonna crack because they got chest and butt. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just it'd be for real. He said Dallas and Atlanta women fuego. Dallas women is fire though. They are fire. I ain't gonna hold you. Had a good time in Dallas. I won't expound on that, but I had a good time in Dallas. What's also can Thursday? They don't have to be. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, everywhere has something different about the women in different places that it just makes them special. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the women in New York, it's how they put that shit on. It's the attitude. It's oh my god, I love. Whew. It's something about New York. I feel like Hitchcock when I get to New York. Like you know how Hitchcock he like got all his powers when he's everywhere else, but when I get to New York, like my powers is like at its full tilt. But because it's like that attraction immediately when I get to New York with the lady, it'll be like you know what I'm saying? Like attraction knows attraction. Like you ever walk into a spot, a room full of people, and the woman that you're supposed to be attracted to, and she's supposed to be attracted to you, y'all found y'all way to each other. I think that's a real thing. Like in Hitchcock, you see how in Hitchcock they found their way to each other? It's like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? He said Atlanta, oh hell no. Yo, y'all are funny. Yo, y'all been absolutely amazing, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. I got like a good solid 59 seconds left. So again, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been amazing. I'm Ashley Lovechild, Kenner Brothers Get It Right podcast, episode 264, Sunday edition. Again, I want to thank the chat for super engaged, showing me mad love. Again, I drop videos daily, whether they're videos, whether they're shorts. Continue to engage, hit the like, subscribe, share button, tap into the memberships, take advantage of those memberships. And also the links is in the bio for you to get any of the merchandise as well. Also, shout out to our presenting sponsor, which is Button Snaps. Button hyphenated snaps.com. Again, button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Make sure you go there. It's the fire, hand selected movies, documentaries, and shows. Thank OUV Records again. Make sure y'all tap in at Instagram. The motto is create, document, and inspire. So make sure y'all tap into OUV Records as well. And again, I appreciate y'all each and every episode. Remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture. Yo, I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. The show continues to grow each and every episode. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. Again, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday. Make sure y'all tune in. Get here nice and early. And we're going to party up again because it's after the first game of the series as well, too. So, again, I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. And y'all can catch me on Instagram, too, at Ashley Lovechild. So, again, ain't nothing but love. And I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.